Just make sure that we're going. Okay, cool. Alright, sweet. Well, looks like Streamlabs has been fucking up lately. That's good, at least. I'm not gonna lie. Just feeling like shit. That is for sure. I'll do this first. Get this going. Dun, dun, dun. Oh shit, this fucking low power, great. That's just great. Well, hopefully it stays on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Oops. No, he's just ignoring me. Wow. I was gone for like a little bit just to go grab these, and a little fucker got into all my goddamn pepperoni sticks. I was in the kitchen, and I guess I didn't have the whole container close enough, and he fucking got in them. Not one survivor. He's probably gonna have like this reddest fucking shit tomorrow, dude. It's gonna look like he just like fucking shot out half his intestines or something. Fucking goof. He certainly is just a dumb dog sometimes. Yeah, just a jackass especially. I guess I'm a little down there still. Yeah, must have been one from this morning. Ugh. I mean, it's mostly full, but there's enough of that. We have that burnt shit down below that tickled throat. Yeah. Ugh. Now I just feel all fucking like gross and sweaty. Ugh. Ugh. Man, today was just fucking ridiculous. Woke up just not feeling good, but after I ate something, then I ended up being fine, and then fucking went to go see Mom, and had a bunch of fucking bullshit dropped on me on that one. Which, I mean, it's not really, like, in the immediate sense, but still. Like, right now, in the current time, she's fine, but a lot of it was about her fucking health, and, yeah, there was a fat fucking chunk of it that, that, you know, it was, like, fucking heavy, and when I came back fucking home, I just went in my fucking room and, like, slept most of the day. So, ugh. It's one of those days where pretty much fucking wasted most of it. What's up, buddy? Even poor little Zook's kind of feeling it a little bit today. Or at least he kind of recognized I'm kind of in a mood, so he's just been kind of chilling. Just kind of chilling, being a sleepy boy today. Let's see what's going on for YouTube and stuff today. Jesus fuck Christ, there's like fires going on in Maui? Holy fuck. Dude, fucking Maui looks like pretty much half the island looks engulfed. Jeez. How in the fuck those fires start? I mean, fuck. I mean, I assume fires aren't necessarily uncommon in Hawaii, but like, for pretty much like an entire fucking island to just be practically on fire, dude. Fucking Jesus. So that's what's been going on today? And I was just completely unaware. Fucking just insane ass fires. I mean, fuck. I mean, let's see if I can find anything that might say how that shit started. If it wants to pull it up, there we go. Jeez, it's like all fire alerts and stuff. It takes Maui by surprise, burning through a historic town, and fucking people died already from this? Jesus Christ. Took Maui by surprise? Hell no. Okay, the sky was dark, okay. Well, how did this shit start? Well, 6 people killed in a strong wildfires whipped up by strong winds from Hurricane Dora passed far to the south, taking the island Maui by surprise. Well, so was there just like some little fire and then just a bunch of winds? Like, senior center erupted and fire, they call it. Okay, alright, it's just like going through like someone's specific account. Is there like anything else besides like that? Yeah, I guess, okay, it's just like some random dude's account. What about... Oh, there is no known cause. Wildfire cause unknown. And that's at least as an hour ago. Jesus. So they don't even know how the shit started? They just know that there was obviously some flames that got propped up by a bunch of strong winds and fucking just like engulfed the fucking island. Jesus. Well, that's fucking insane. Jesus. I mean, just shows how fucking quickly, like, you know, these fires can spread. Especially considering that, like, you know, if hotter and drier fucking summers and shit, this shit's gonna be becoming, like, more commonplace. And why is it kind of a wet, humid, tropical area? And that happened. So, yeah, if it could happen there, it sure shit will happen pretty much damn near anywhere. Twitter left us on the Lonely Men discourse again. How? Oh my fucking god, dude. You know, like, I know Venom talks about it a lot, but dude, I generally get like annoyed by the discourse. Like, I really do, dude. Cause look, I've talked about what I think, you know, could, you know, help, at least has like a foundation about some of the shit, but you know, there's only so much about beating a fucking dead horse and then like hearing all the woe is me shit before you just get sick of it. I mean, seriously, like, I generally get just fucking, like, annoyed by it more than anything. Not by, like, anyone specifically, but just by the discourse itself. Because it, like, most of the time, it never fucking, like, considers maybe, like, a little element of introspection and maybe a little personal accountability to that level. Like, it's always somehow society strictly and nothing else that has to, like, you know, pick up the slack. It's like, yeah, sure, but it's a two-way fucking street. I mean, you can't just blame, like, society and everything else, you know, like, and think that's gonna solve shit. It sure shit won't. I mean, because that's just fucking incel thinking. Oh, yeah, I knew that was gonna fucking happen. God damn it. From my perspective, everyone's wrong in this to some degree. I honestly agree. Like, I do. And I'm sure, like, you know, I'm not totally right either, because I don't really think anybody is. I mean, I think, you know, the inherent element, you know, really to it all is, like, addressing the roots of, like, the material conditions in the system that we're in. And I think, you know, that will help kind of, you know, at least address some of these other problems. Not everything, but at least it'll be easier to hash out some of this other shit. Because then people have, like, more time, better, you know, lifestyles and shit, you know, when actually, like, looking at our fucking oppressive and exploitative system. I mean, it's just like, I mean, if you want to look at an extreme version of it, fucking look at Japan. Because, they're suffering way more with this problem than we are. And, I mean, look, you know, at the path that they're going down. Like, I mean, that country could genuinely, like, on an economic and governmental side, like, literally collapse. Within, like, the next 50 years if it doesn't do anything about what the fuck, you know, their issues are. And that's kind of the issue. It's just like, you know, the entire system in it itself is kind of the root of the problems as to why we are fucked in this way. And not just on, like, the issue of loneliness or sociability or relationships, stuff like that, but on just, like, really across the board. I mean, it's vague as fuck, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the issue is capitalism, baby. Like, I mean, really, it honestly just is. I mean, not to literally fucking everything and, you know, to the nitty little gritty, but as a foundation, it does not fucking help at all, obviously. It certainly accelerates and makes a lot of these fucking problems worse. Once like Hearsay wants to blame everyone else for issues, but then you have Hearsay who wants to paint only men with too broad a brush and don't consider how impressionable these people are in their formative years. Exactly. And don't want to at least, you know, try to argue alternatives, or at least argue, like, what maybe a broader root of this issue fucking is. You know, and, like, at least try to address that. Because, I mean, it's not just as simple as, like, just saying, oh, you know, just grow up and figure it out, bruh. I mean, because like I was saying, it's like, I mean, you know, it's a little bit of a two-way street. Like, obviously, there's a lot of things about society and a lot of elements about the system that certainly are to blame for. But there's definitely some introspection on that front, too. Like, I mean, you know, you got flaws, too, as a lonely guy, probably. And there, frankly, are probably some variables to that. You know, on your own self that might, you know, like, you know, that might, embellish that problem. But that doesn't mean that, like, you're inherently at fault for it, obviously. And that doesn't even mean that just because you have those flaws doesn't mean it's impossible, obviously. But might help improve. You know, it's just one of those things. Where, yeah, like, I mean, it's just too much of broad stroke shit. I mean, especially. Though, arguably, I am kind of doing a broad stroke, you know, my own way, just, you know, a little different. Think about, they pick on weaker targets because they're too afraid to confront the source of their issues. Yep. Yeah, I mean, in a way, it is kind of like bullying. I guess in a way it is, honestly. I mean, it's like cyberbullying shit. You know, like trying to, like, you know, bully somebody into, like, you know, essentially into thinking that they're the guilt or the problem of everything, or that, like, you know, they have to, like, conform or, you know, fall in line under a certain idea. Like being bullied into obedience or bullied into conformity or some shit. So, I mean, it's like, it's a little bit of both with that, in a way. You know, I would say. I mean, so certainly, I mean, there definitely is, like, a strong level of bullying, really on both ends, or really on, like, arguably on all fronts on that one. I mean, like, incel MGTOW types sure as fuck do a lot of that. And a lot of, you know, hardcore radical femme types and people that just, like, paint men in a very broad stroke in this way certainly fucking do it too. I mean, people who I think even are generally more nuanced, like Vasha in this case and shit. You know, like, let me guess, Vash is heavily, you know, involved in this whole discourse on Twitter, isn't he? I guarantee fuck it to you, he is, dude, isn't he? Like, because if not, I would actually be shocked. Because he's always, like, you know, talking about this shit sometimes. I mean, or at least whenever it gets brought up, he tends to be, like, one of the big dudes, you know, that gets kind of fucked on by a lot of, like, rad femmes and shit, because he actually does take this issue a little more seriously. I mean, and at least, you know, provides more of a nuanced conversation about it. Which I actually at least appreciate. The people who bring this up say, hey, if we don't address this, only men are going to fall down the alt-right pipeline. I can't say I agree. I think, at most, I think it would discourage them from participating, which would be determined detrimental leftism, I think. Like, address only men, like, I mean, it just kind of, to me, I think it has to depend on how you do it. Like, if you just, like, strictly look at, we gotta talk about lonely men, you know, then, yeah, I think in a way you're definitely more right about it. But if you tie it into something like, you know, labor issues, or, like, addressing, you know, working conditions or living conditions, or just, like, quality of life and stuff like that, I think, you know, it could, you know, easily be, you know, addressed, just not directly, so to speak. You know, because, you know, obviously, you know, lonely men will probably be predominantly affected by those type of things, because chances are there's a strong possibility that they have a job. You know, because, hey, I do. I'm not necessarily lonely, but, you know, because I got relationships, you know, not sexually, but I still got platonic friendships and family, you know, relationships, stuff like that. But there's plenty of people just like me that don't really got that as much. And sure, shit would definitely, you know, benefit from that, because they would have a little bit more time to themselves, so they can rekindle friendships, or, you know, rekindle family bonds stuff, or even create some friendships by going to the pub a little more often. You know, maybe a karaoke night or some shit at a bar. You know, stuff like that. So, you know, it's like, And even if it's not like a bar or whatever, fuck, you can go to like a restaurant, or go to an event, go to concerts, stuff like that. Having more time and availability means you can go to more events, go to more things, go to more social interactions, and thus that opens the door to being, well, not lonely, being sociable. I mean, so a lot of it's, can be addressed by looking at like the capitalistic, paradigm that we definitely, like are in. And to at least, create more of an opportunity for everybody, when it comes to attaining, like having a relationship, whether sexually or otherwise, it opens that door way more. And it makes it more easier because everyone's kind of on that playing field to some extent. Instead of everyone just working that fucking 9 to 5 and then working the 6 to 9 or some shit. You, me, and everyone are not telling sex romance. Oh, yeah, no one is. Like, I'm just, yeah. I mean, absolutely. We're talking things that can make these things easier to get. Yeah, and that's my argument. Which I think, people like Vosh, and some lefties might get that. But it's not really like a main focal point, though. And I think it should. Because, like, goddamn right we're entitled to the things that make it easier for us to live better lives and maybe potentially have relationships, stuff like that. Like, yeah, that, a lot of that is pertaining to, like, better healthcare, better wages, better, time to work-life balance, all this other shit. Like, goddamn right we're entitled to that. And it does make it easier to potentially have platonic or sexual or romantic, relations. Because then a lot of other people will be having that same type of playing field and would be able to achieve them themselves too. But I mean, there's only so much money could do for shitty personalities. Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to look at Bezos or Musk. Just, look at anyone that's got a shitload of money. Yeah, definitely. That's kind of another thing, too. Just merely addressing the conditions, doesn't necessarily solve everything. That's why there has to be some level of introspection about that as well. Like, the guy that's like, hey, the side's got, problems, bro. It's like, well, you're kind of a dick sometimes. And you don't know social cues every now and then. It's like, maybe sometimes, there might be some issues on your end there, bucko, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's a two-way street. Like, you have to at least also look at yourself, too, and say, so maybe, some that I'm not helping with in my situation here that I can improve on. And certainly there probably will be. Everyone's got, like, some flaws they can potentially improve on. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just a part of being human. Maybe just sociopath, I don't know. So, yeah. Society's literally the issue, nothing else. It's like, okay. Also, the point against guys, don't fuck on man, we can't get laid like the amount of mass shootings can tell you that has horrible consequences. Yeah, it's why I don't. Because honestly, it's also just like, basically the equivalent of just like, running up to someone and kicking them in the dick. It's just a fucking below the belt shot, you know what I mean? Though, to be fair, I make the exception for someone like Nick Fuentes. It's like, I'm okay with fucking on Nick Fuentes for being a stupid little virgin twink. So, I'll fuck on him for that. There's always going to be at least some exceptions to the rule. At least, for me, that would be Nick. That would be good old Fuentes. Little Nazi worm bag. Can't believe it. Everything on everyone, only some things. Yeah. That's why I can only really look at, like, some things, when it comes to, like, society or culture or anything else, like, and, say, hey, there's problems and, and they need to be improved, but just literally seeing that that's it. It's just, like, basically just, like, taking it as an absolute. It's like, it's either this or it's not. It's like, are you sure about that? Because, it seems like it would be way more complicated than just a black and white thing. not, especially when it comes to shit like this, it certainly isn't an absolute. But a lot of people do kind of treat it like it's an absolute. I hate traffic. Oh, yeah, yeah. Someone should put out the forest fire. Well, good luck with that. Yeah. So you gonna go do it there, buddy? Because you go volunteer for it. Because I want to make sure that I get my shit safe and secure and I, you know, prolong my life. I mean, speaking of which, I mean, I'm kind of like shocked about what the fuck happened in Maui. Like half the island like bursts into flames within a fucking day. And they don't really know how it got started. Like, the cause is unknown. Which, that just makes it fucking freaky. Because I was seeing some pics of that, and I was just like, what the fuck? It's like, there was like, you know, one of the towns that looked like it had like something explode in the actual town or something. It might have been a gas station, so maybe something did explode, but it straight up looked like a fucking, like, napalm strike. Like, it looked like a fucking war zone of, like, napalm going off and shit exploding. It looked fucking insane. It's just like, what the fuck? At least, you know, when I was looking at some things from, at least an hour ago, so when the most recent updates about this shit happened, and it's like, yeah, cause unknown, at least, like, 6 people died, and, like, fucking half the island's just, like, scorched. It's like, Jesus. They gave us any cause of issues. Oh my god, this is way up here. We don't talk enough about about how the expectation of gratitude towards parents is normalized abuse. Yeah, I tend to agree. Like, just like having this like empty, like, virtuous sense of gratitude, you know, like, you know, just through your parents, just, you know, for the sake of it, is definitely a little ridiculous. That shot the boy, though. Yeah, fuck off. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like, I definitely, you know, at least for me personally, you know, got some gratitude to parents. I mean, to an extent. I mean, because they definitely have some flaws and, you know, didn't totally, you know, raise me 100%. But you know what? I was able to fill the gaps. It worked. I mean, it was all figured out. You know, it wasn't the worst ever. We were able to do what we were able to do. I mean, am I, probably, you know, a little fucked from it? Eh. I mean, yeah, likely. But it certainly could have been worse. God damn. Always perfect, but goddamn why sorry for parents to acknowledge fuck-ups. Yeah. I mean, at least, you know, my parents have, which is why I do, you know, because, like, you know, they've recognized that, yeah, you know, we could have probably been there more, probably, you know, should have, like, you know, been more involved, blah, 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 but, you know, I don't hold it against them, because they fucking at least acknowledge it and realize that, like, hey, you know, might as well at least, you know, take, you know, yeah, like, take, you know, what time you do got to, you know, at least fill in the gap. Which, you know, that's why, at least, you know, I took to, my dad to the last show, and, you know, stuff like that, and, you know, try to at least, you know, go see mom whenever possible and shit, you know, because it's, like, cause, I mean, you know, it's at least, you know, a way to fill in that gap. So we let you get drunk when you were little. You know what's funny is that I think you're joking, but, that happened once, when I was, like, 4. I think I told the story before, but, like, me and my parents, brought me, because obviously I'm a little baby kid, I can't just leave me at the house. So they brought me along with, to this party that one of their friends was having. And they all had, a bunch of, apple ciders and stuff like that. And, of course, little old me was looking around for those little fucking bottles, because I was thirsty, apparently. I don't know how it started. The party was going on for a while, and then, an hour later, that's when I was caught, sipping these fucking drinks. And I think it's because I wasn't doing that up until probably about an hour later into that, when we showed up. Because I was like, I'm thirsty, I want something to drink. And I just started walking around, finding these old, I think it might have been Angry Orchard or some shit, but just finding these fucking ales, these, cider ales and shit, and just started drinking them. And then one of my mom's buddies, somebody at the party, looked at their bottle and went, I didn't drink all this. And started looking around hey, anyone else's bottle empty? It's anyone drinking my drink? And they looked around, and then they saw me looking at another drink because someone went to go check on theirs with me already, drinking it. And they were like, oh, shit. Everyone, especially my parents, they just went, oh, fuck. And at least for my dad's case, apparently I was the most easygoing kid for a few days because I was just basically passed the fuck out. I was sleepy as a fucking hibernating bear, dude. For that night and apparently the next day. And then I was just very low energy and sleepy and tired for the third day. So, I mean, yeah. So that's why at least my dad said. We were there. Hashtag we were there. From Andrew to and drunk. Yep. Oh shit, I haven't installed these circular saws in Rio Grande. Wait, what? Miners have already been caught and die in these river walls. This is clear Dude! You fucking kidding me? Dude, it's a torture device. What the fuck? Is that meant to be a fucking torture device? Well, I mean, it pretty much might as well be. Those aren't meant to just hurt. Those are meant to fucking torture and kill. And well, actually, yeah, kill. Because even if you survive getting fucked up by that, you goddamn right you're gonna get a fucking infection. Something in the water, getting dirt in your wounds. It's you're gonna get infected, especially when you're out in the fucking desert and shit with really little to no aid, at all. You're gonna die. You're dead. And if you bleed out too much, you're not really gonna be able to get the fuck off, the edge of the shoreline of the fucking river. You're just gonna bleed out and die right there. Think about what he could be spending money on to help people in this state, which largely depends on immigrants and further economy. Yeah, and I kind of found out I might have to fucking go down to Texas during Thanksgiving, which I really don't fucking want to because, cause it's just a fascist shithole, and, I really don't want to get into how great, okay, I don't want to have a TJ moment. Because I full-heartedly think that TJ is unironically based and should continue to, well, I don't want to put fuel on the fire, never mind. But, yeah, that's just, I mean, fucking, just fucking hell. They're allowed to just literally pass policies and put our taxpayers, to be overtly killing people. And, just slaughtering people like they're fucking, some sort of an assembly line at the goddamn fucking Rio Grande. And what? We're supposed to just be like, oh, that's just a shame. I wish you would change. Now, fuck that. It's shove him in one of those fucking goddamn saws. How about that? Roll him off in the Rio Grande, have him, fall in a pile of that shit. And see how he feels. Fucking racist, goddamn wheelchair, fucking idle, worthless piece of scum shit. It's not murder if it's an accident. True. Well, I mean, it's still... No, I mean, if I'm somehow... It's like... held liable for it, it'd be manslaughter, at least. And considering he's a politician, it wouldn't matter. They throw the book at anyone, you know, when it comes to that shit. Apparently the FBI, like, you know, actually decided to get their head out of their ass for once and actually, like, look at one of these, like, white supremacist freaks, make it that threat, so at least in this case to Biden. And they had a fucking straight up, like, shootout with the guy. And the dude got killed and shit. So, like, actually here, let me see if there's, let's see if there's, anything about that. Like some video or some shit. I don't think anyone, you know, has reacted to it outside of just the regular old news or whatever the fuck. What the hell? Hey, my town is like, dude, my town is dude, Portland's mentioned with these Maui fires. Visitors from Portland evacuated as wildfires rage. Fuck, man. Some weird dumbass interview. Neighbors speak out about the Provo man. Okay, well, here we go. Here's something. Yeah, I guess we don't really need a full screen that much.
Welcome to ABC. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores.
Stop.
We thank you for joining us here tonight.
Fuck.
Today, President Joe Biden in Utah. But before he touched down, an FBI raid ended with the Provo man dead, suspected.
Okay, well, that would explain why the FBI raided. So he was like, so Biden was making a planned, fucking hell. He was making a planned visit to Utah. And I guess, like, as a way to kind of, like, make sure that there was no threats, they decided to raid this guy, you know, prior to his visit. And it ended up in a fucking shootout.
The president.
The FBI identifying that man as
First Joseph Smith and now this.
Robertson, ABC4.
Yeah, now we got, like, a Chris Robertson or some shit. Or Craig Robertson.
Joining us live from the scene.
First Joseph Smith and now Craig Robertson. God damn it.
What can you tell us tonight, Jonathan?
Emily, Glenn, here's a scene roughly 15 hours after the shooting took place. Police tape is still...
Wow, so invigorating.
And it looks like agents have a mobile unit outside the home. Agents were here trying to serve an arrest and search warrant. That's when the man identified as Craig Robinson was shot and killed, leaving community...
Well, did he open fire? Like, how did that happen? I mean, like, you can't just say that and not tell some detail. Like, did he open fire on them from the door, or, like... from a window, or like how, like, I mean, what happened with that one? Like, I am curious. Like, I'm assuming he shot first, you know, because that's why the FBI probably just like mag dumped his ass, you know, which that's the only thing I could think of. Like, I mean, is that he started shooting. You just like, oh, FBI here? Well, better start blasting.
Who knew him from their local church, shocked.
I just can't believe this happened in my neighborhood. I just can't believe that.
I can't believe this happened. Well, oh my god. Come on, dude. You really can't? Yeah, there's a bunch of right-wing conspiratorial fuckbag psychos in, like, every little town, dude. Including in my area. I mean, it's like, it's not exactly, you know, as uncommon as you think. I mean, they're not, like, some gigantic voice in these areas and stuff like that. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, you goddamn right, there's gonna definitely certainly be, like, a, you know, like, a degree of, you know, like, at least some elements of that. I mean, especially in fucking Utah. I mean, come on, dude. Really? I mean, you're really that surprised?
It just seems unreal. Like
it's unreal.
Overreaction.
Officials tell us the investigation
No connection. Both the phone names. Oh, it's coincidence? Yeah, probably. Boy, if there is some.
dates back to April. According to court documents, Robertson posted online saying, "I hear Biden is coming to Utah. Digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle. In addition to making several
yeah, that's it. See, I can see why the FBI raided him.
threatening posts on his Facebook. Agents say
He decided to just, like, let that be, like, right out on a fucking Facebook page, dude. I mean, bro.
suggested online he would take physical action.
And I honestly think that he may have just let himself get taken away on social media.
Wrong. He didn't get taken away by social media. He got taken away by far-right fascist propaganda, dude. I mean, like, I mean, dude, like, I guess social media, it, like, accelerated that, but, I mean, these type of people existed before social media, so, I mean, it wasn't that, you know, caused him to be that way, dude.
I can't imagine.
Okay, this guy is, like, really naive. Oh, boy. Oh, Dios mío, dude. Like, I mean, it's not social media that started that, man. Like, my God, you should, whatever.
He could either physically or mentally act on any of that at all.
Through their investigation, the FBI said Robertson allegedly did own a sniper rifle and ghillie suit. No word yet on what took place.
I'm assuming because he probably actually did. And sounding, you know, from the sounds of it, he might have been a fucking vet. M24, that's a standard sniper rifle, bolt-action sniper rifle that marksmen and snipers in the military and the army use. Like, not so much these days. I mean, it's an older rifle, but, I mean, it's still used. So, I mean, especially if he's saying he's dusted off, guarantee he probably is, like, you know, service member from, like, the 90s, early 2000s. Probably Gulf or Iraq War service and shit in his record. And, you know, that was probably a service weapon. And if he had a ghillie, then he probably, you know, had that either during the service or maybe after the fact, you know, for hunting purposes and shit like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, just judging by, you know, see everything about that fucking psycho, yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of, the dots are connected a little bit. Could be a non-vet, too. M24 was very popular as a sniper rifle back then, too. I mean, depending on how old this guy was. If he was, like, in his 60s or 70s, then chances are he probably was a non-vet. So, like, ghillie suit probably as old as, you know, it's like as a service in Nam. For a hard right-winger in Solidarity confinement, how long would it take for him to crack? Like, can it get more crazy? Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, it's, how long would it take? At least, like, within the day. Sometime within the day. It could be between, like, an hour, 12 hours, 24 hours, but sometime within, like, the 24-hour, one-day mark. Pricey fast, man. What's this? Crispy chicken sandwich. Finally sandwich made for me. It's $5.89. That does seem a little spent. That better be like a fucking dank ass crispy chicken sandwich, dude. That better be some dank ass sandwiches right there. I mean, that just, I mean, because if not, that's going to be just generally kind of disappointing. Look at word chicken again. Wait, what? Oh my God. It's not crispy chicken, it's crispy children sandwich? Whoa. Oh. My brain literally just filled in the word chicken. I didn't even really think about it that up until you said something. Well, goddamn. What's up, pup? What's up, little pup? Don't be begging for food. You literally raided all my pepperoni sticks. You don't need no more food. Jerk. You mislabeled this. No, I didn't. That's not a mislabel. That certainly is an accurate label. You're eating crispy children. What? He's pawing at me, and he's staring at me. Right here. What do you want? What? What's up, dude? Can I help you? Looks out and sees missing posters. Oh dear God. Oh my fucking God. It's all connecting. The dots have connected. I think my dog wants a little bit of food, but here. Do this first. You goof. You could just wait a second. Jesus, good Lord. You goofball. Yep. Look at you. Oh my God. And you ate all my pepperoni sticks and you still want all this shit. That's a pick, cinnamon buns. I have a good reason for it. You know, fucking go, I don't care anymore. Everyone loots me. This one is hard. You guys probably won't like my answer. One has to go. One has to go. What the fuck? This is... You know what? This shit right... yeah, I'll say this, because honestly everything else it looks way too good. Because it's really hard for, like, you know, cinnamon roll to be just, like, utterly fucking quality. Unless for me. Because sometimes it takes a while for me to go into that shit, because it's just, like... Sometimes just be like... You can put frosting, cinnamon on any other stuff. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of tend to agree, because, yeah, you can put that on the other stuff, like a cinnamon waffle, or, you know, stuff like that. Also, maybe should talk to that guy, I don't know. I mean, yeah, for real. The coffee go, I don't care anymore. Everyone leaves me. It's like, yeah, that's a little, yeah, I'd say that one's a little like, Man, this damn dog. Lots to unpack. So, I mean, it really is. Like, you got like an anime dude with, you know, with him saying like, oh my God, everyone leaves me, fuck this shit, blah. Then respond to a meme. Man. Much I want to bet that dude's probably like a legit right-wing incel type. It's kind of hitting the marks for me. Get steeped in glitch in the Matrix stories. Glitch in the Matrix stories. Like amputation, or just, you know, where he's like talk about like, you know, the Matrix, or just you know, like actually, you know, glitch in the Matrix. Jesus Christ, I can now fucking say that to save my life. Some mine are like, hey, we thought we had a chocolate cake for my birthday, but we cut it, somehow turned out to be strawberry. The latter. Ah, okay. I mean, I've seen some of those stories before. I mean, some of them can be kind of interesting, because, like, a lot of it, more or less, really, is just probably, like, a misordering and stuff like that. Yeah, we thought we had a chocolate cake for our birthday, but, hey, maybe you just misordered, or maybe there was a mistake in creating the cake, and instead of chocolate, it ended up being strawberry. But, nope, it's a glitch in the Matrix, bruh. reality is, you know, broken down a little bit just for a second and it had to be corrected. I've heard a lot of these people just don't accept their memory might be faulty. That too. Which, that tends to be, you know, the case in a lot of, you know, in a lot of situations. Like, humans' memory is not, like, perfect. I mean, there might be a lot of, you know, stuff that could be very vivid about it, but, I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's not exactly, like, picture perfect, you know, shit. I mean, if anything, it's far from it. Like, you just threw your keys on the microwave because you tried. It isn't some glitch. Yeah. What are you doing? What, you looking for this? Oh, he's taking my lighter.
Only for a brief time.
This is going on for 2 today. Let's see. What's going on for Wednesday today? Wow. Not exactly too much for last week. You know what? I know I did see some shit from earlier today. And then you should go to true crime stuff because I don't like hearing about that shit. But I did come across that years ago. Ashton Kutcher testified about a murder. Ashton Kutcher? Really? I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of morbidly curious about stuff like true crime shit. But it, like, not just like any type of true crime shit. Like some of the more crazier, wackier stories. Like Casey Anthony or the chick with the fucking, like with the, you know, like suitcase murder and shit. You know, like, you know, all these, you know, weird-ass things. Because, like, honestly, what really intrigues me is, like, the fucking interviews. Like, the interrogations and shit in the interrogation room. Like, I mean, that's kind of, like, what I kind of get into. I like that shit. I mean, I'm not really into, like, everything else about it. I'm just more about, like, you know, checking out the interviews and, like, seeing these people have obviously done these crazy things. Just, like, slowly but surely, you know, attempt to break down or like attempt to defend, you know, their alibi and just watch it all break down before them. The one with Nicholas Cruz, that was generally pretty fucking sad. And pretty fucking crazy, honestly. Because that one, like the guy who did the Parkland shooting, like that one is honestly so fucking crazy. Like, because, the dude is generally is aware of what he's doing. And he basically tries to do this whole, like, the demons man thing. But the cop obviously wasn't having any of it. And he found out that he would smoke weed sometimes and shit. And that would help him calm down and, like, you know, ease his urges. And even the cop was like, look, I know weed's illegal, but why wouldn't you just smoke a little dope, man? That's way better than, you know, what you just did and blah blah blah. Like, I mean, it's actually generally sad because, like, dude, in a weird fucked way, like, weed probably would have prevented him from doing the shit that he did. I'm not even kidding. Because in that interview or that interrogation, you know, like, he straight up, like, you know, like, said that, yeah, weed helped me calm down and stuff like that. But the thing is, the reason why I say he's like kind of calculated and and all that shit is because when the interviewer was gone, he obviously wasn't aware that he was being recorded. So like when he's all by himself, he's actually kind of like reimagining and mimicking what he did. Like you can kind of see him pretend to hold a rifle and stuff like that and shit. Like it. Which is why I say it's really sad, because, like, I mean, he fell down such a fucking Nazistic shit to where, I mean, he's just convinced and gun-ho with it now at this point. I mean, he's long gone now. I mean, he sure shit ain't coming out. But, like, it's just kind of weird to think, like, if he just, tried to find a plug, and just smoked weed, as a, just was a stoner that was just, like an edgelord. I mean, honestly, like, he might have still been a right-winger, potentially, but fuck, I mean, like, he probably wouldn't have done some of the shit he did. Like, honestly, I mean, I'd argue probably a little far-fetched, but considering at least especially what I've seen in that interview, like, I don't know, I'd argue that. I'd at least say that it's, strongly possible. He says lies, it does, honestly. Yeah. It legit does. I mean, it's like, obviously too much of a thing cannot be good, but, like, for someone like him, honestly, he probably needed a little extra weed. Could have used a plug. Instead, everyone else got plugged up. So, it's not like I have any sympathy for him necessarily. I mean, he could go fuck himself still at this point. But, like, I mean, it's just kind of like one of those things of hindsight, to think that, like, something so simple like a fucking herb could generally have potentially prevented that. Which is more of a reason why to, like, honestly have it federally legal. Because I really do think, that a lot of people that could be like on the verge type of shit, could probably be taken back, a few steps, from that edge, just because they smoked a couple joints. Like, honestly. I mean, fuck, there's times where I get fucking pissed off and I'm just like, and all that shit, and after I smoke a couple bowls and stuff, I immediately calm the fuck down. So it's just like, I mean, if there is anything to it, I mean, it's like, it does help you chill the fuck out. Like, and you're far less likely to act on some crazy impulsive behavior like that. Listen to Paramono Skinwalker stories as well. Honestly, kind of let down. Or some shit like, this Skinwalker left demonically, or intended ghost made a play smash against the wall. Yeah. And that shit is just like, fucking just, yeah. They're disappointing. It can't be just like some poltergeist shit or something, or like some crazy, insane, like, Skinwalker story. It's just always something lame. I mean, the concept of Skinwalkers and ghosts are awesome and pretty cool. But, I mean, yeah, they're just, when you actually look up the stories, they tend to be just kind of shitty. I mean, how much shitty things? Oh, yeah. But I mean, just like, when it comes to, more like on the daily thing. But luckily, I mean, at this point, I've, just in general, I've, like, calmed down for the most part anyway. Like, they're like, I'm like the last person to go out of my way to act on some stupid shit. Like, honestly. Like, I mean, the worst thing I'm gonna do is probably tell off a Nazi and shit, that I might happen to see. And if they want to start some shit, then, hey, they're the ones who escalate it, not me. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I'm the last dude that's gonna go out of my way to do crazy shit, dude. Like, I mean, I just want to chill, have a bowl, and just, like, do my thing. Like, I mean, a lot of the aggression comes from more of a reactive, defensive, elements more so than just, like, some sort of vitriol against society or some shit. I mean, honestly, because, like, a few years ago, I've never really been so, like, I mean, even, like, even during 2020, I wouldn't necessarily say I've been super militant when it comes to, like, fascism and shit, because I didn't, because even though I knew it was a threat, I didn't, didn't really think how serious it could really have been. And even like 4 to 5 years ago, I mean, then not as much. At this point, I'm pretty damn radical about it, but like I said, I'm not gonna go like do some crazy vigilante lone wolf shit. I mean, I'm not stupid. Have you had to hear a ghost story like, and then he woke up feeling a cold sensation on my forehead, and it was the worst brain freeze, and when I looked up, I saw the ghost nuts resting on my head. There probably is like a story out there somewhere. It's just very obscure because people don't get the quality of the content. No one knows hard anymore. It's sad. It really is. No one knows some good quality art when they see it anymore. It's pathetic. Sad. Sad. It's very sad, let me tell you. No one knows true art anymore. Would you eat this? Looks like a... kind of like a Nick slime. Lime jello fudge. Jello fudge? Those words don't sound like they go together.
Jello fudge from 68. Typically fudge involves chocolate, and on the rare occasion it doesn't, it typically shouldn't have jello in it. Into a saucepan goes 3.5 cups of sugar.
Fucking hell.
Half the bag. Quarter teaspoon of soda. 10-4, good buddy. Plus 3 ounces of lime jello. You ready for a party? Fruity. Cup and a half.
Man, he is snorting up a lot of sugary things, isn't he?
Oh, juice. That's milk, by the way. Then we cook to 234 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, it's foaming. Please stop growing. Oh, stop.
Oh, shit.
Ow. Ow. It's got ranged attacks. I don't like this. Almost. Heat stirring all the way. Then remove from heat and into a bowl. A half cup of butter. Beat until thick.
Oh my god, why? Dude, like, you're gonna put your arteries, and your heart on overdrive of this.
Thick. Then to a greased and lined 8-inch.
That is so gloopy.
So firm. You know what's already firm? My cookbook. It's a hardcover. Oh.
It's good?
Tastes like summer camp. Like baby bottle pop nostalgia. Huh. Lime?
Huh. So, ow. So it's actually kind of good? Like, I mean, I'll definitely try it for sure. But, I mean, like, oh my god, I would not have a lot of it, because that sounds like I'm gonna, like, immediately get a lot of fucking cholesterol and, like, heart problems, like, within, like, 10 bites. Like, if if I had 10 of those little bite-sized things, like, I'm pretty sure I would immediately, like, increase my chance of, like, some sort of cholesterol attack or some shit. And I'm a guy that likes, buttering up shit, dude. But, dude, he put so much butter in that. Like, like that... It's basically just, like, butter, sugar, and, like, lime jello mix. It's just, like, wrapped into a bundle. It's like, fuck. Like, oh my goodness. So, also I have already made it. It would need to have already been in the fridge for, like, 4 days. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll certainly eat his, right off the bat. But, yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, it's like, I don't know. And I don't know, not necessarily because of the taste, but because of my health. I have a strong feeling that I'd probably get pretty fucked up by that. Not in a good way, either. Sack tap, Steven Crowder's staffers quit. Dude, oh my god, dude. Crowder's little empire has just collapsed. I actually saw, like, something about his, like, viewership base, and, like, his audience viewership and stuff like that. And ever since everything is, like, dropped on his ass, it went from, like, being up here to just, like, literally, like, a fucking cliff. It just dropped. Like, barely anyone's, like, listening to him anymore. He, like, fell the fuck off, like, so quick after that shit. Not just with his audience, but even with his staffers. Like, they all saw an opportunity. It's like, out, we're done, fuck this. we see an out. And man, dude, it's just, oh, I fucking love it, bro. Yeah, well, I'll check out it. You know, we haven't really, wait, hold on, I gotta, just, you know, I want to adjust this so I can at least get the goddamn full screen going here, because YouTube's being dumb. Oh, and, you know, send me a thank you. There, before we actually get to further into this, we'll check out this too. Oh, what the hell? I just got a black screen. Oh, here we go.
Peanut pie from 1941, courtesy of the...
A peanut pie? That actually does sound good. So, this is something that sounds like it would be good, but ends up being shit. Oh my god, look at that what is that baby doing? Why is this baby naked? What the fuck is going on there? I am so creeped out. Oh my god, is this like some borderline, what the fuck? Okay, Deep South peanut pie. Okay, that time was weird back then. No, I think it just explained everything. Deep South. That's all you need to know. I think that explains it all.
I can only describe as an infant male escort.
An infant male escort? Oh my god, why'd you have to put that terminology in there?
Here. Need a haircut. Any big plans for the weekend? Whole cup of caro. A cup of sugar. So you want sugar with your sugar? Diabetes go butter. Eggy shell. You didn't see anything. Margarine. Vanilla. 8 ounces of peanuts. All right. Stop looking at me.
Thank you.
What have you done?
What the fuck?
Oh. Demon baby!
Demon baby! Oh my god. Hold on, we gotta get that. We gotta do that one again.
Oh. Demon baby!
Dude, it really is a demon baby. Fuck. I mean, my god. I mean, why? I mean, why in the... Dude, what the fuck was, like, with the 40s? I know World War II was going on, so you had to get, like, the fucking weirdos who couldn't be fit for combat. You had to be doing some shit. So, I understand it, like, but, I mean, couldn't there at least be, like, you know, some... Like, you know, some filtering out of who might have gotten the job, you know what I mean? Like, is, why? Like, why in the fuck is, wait. Yeah, why, god, like, why is that a thing, dude? Why? Why is it naked with just nothing but a hat covering everything? God. Fuck, why?
Peanut pie from 19...
Yeah. Yeah, fuck your peanut pie. Evidently it's trash. Sounded good, but it disturbed me because of demon infant escort baby.
The once dominant conservative propagandist Steven Crowder is now collapsing before our very eyes.
Awesome.
There are some recent employee departures.
So after Steven Crowder, can we get Matt Walsh next? Because you know goddamn well that motherfucker's got some weird fucking shit going on, you know, behind the scenes, dude. Like, so after fucking, you know, like, this guy, Steven Crowder, can we do Matt Walsh next? Much better. A pecan pie. Ooh. See, that's quality right there. I feel like you could do this, but even with peanuts, too. Or even a mixture, like pecan and peanuts, like, mixed in there. That'd be good. See, I just feel like, you know, the way the recipe was done was fucked. Like, because it was done by the demon infant escort baby. Like, I mean, so, I mean, if it was actually done by a proper fucking human being, you know, then it actually probably would be good.
From his company over a new NDA that they were...
I can't get over the fucking demon baby thing, dude.
And a discussion around sack tap.
Just don't use fucking margarine or whatever... The fuck, I think it's like Carico or something.
I'll get to that in a bit, but I'll leave that term with your imagination for a second. Yes, sack tap being a requirement at Crowder's workplace, apparently.
A sack tap? What the fuck is a sack tap? What, you get tapped by, like, fucking the sack of Steven Crowder or something? What, does he literally do, like, the Halo fucking, like, teabag on your face? Is that what you do?
So, in this video, I will go over...
Do you have to get, like, is that what a sack tap is? That you have to get sack tapped by fucking Steven Crowder's nuts or something? Or what, does he, like, he literally smack you in the nuts or something like that? Or is it that where you have to literally get, like, hit in the dick?
The recent history leading up to these more recent departures. I will show you what they discussed, what they're required to sign, and things are not looking good for Crowder, as I'll get to his stats as well. So, first, this recent controversy with Crowder all really begins with the beginning of this year, when he was offered a $50 million contract with Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire.
Do we have to tap yours against his while talking about how straight he is? No.
So Crowder had left...
Makes sense. Definitely not homosexual at all.
...his previous workplace, which I believe was Blaze TV. Then he was sort of kind of free agent, or was independent, could do what he wants, and he was offered this...
Dude, I love the Rolling Stones headline. Far right blowhard calls a $50 million Daily Wire offer a slave contract.
A 4-year contract worth $50
fucking
million.
blowhard, dude. I love it.
And he called it a slave contract. So I covered that back then, and just how ridiculous it was for Crowder to pass on that contract, especially now looking at his data, which we will get to in a second here. But following that, there was also a big controversy around this from an insider here. Leaked video seems to show YouTuber Steven Crowder yelling at his pregnant wife for failing to respect men.
And also, like, potentially risking her pregnancy because, you know, his dog needed medication. And apparently wanted her to go to, you know, did not want her to go to the grocery store. This, you know, because apparently he needed a vehicle because literally of some random what if scenarios. Like, what if I, you know, need to, you know, go to bar with the homies and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get picked up and stuff like that. Like, which, I mean, you know, it's all just like, you know, element of control. Like, we've seen the shit. It's honestly fucked. And honestly, like, and if I was like, you know, anyone in her side of family that happened to be in that, you know, vicinity hearing that shit, you could guarantee there'd be an ass whooping. Just saying that. I mean, I know Hillary Crowder's probably still, like, you know, conservative, tradcon type or whatever the fuck. But obviously she's generally more mature and more respectable of a human being in comparison to her, or in comparison to him. Well, maybe her, I don't know. Maybe, honestly, Steven's probably secretly trans considering how much he cross-dresses every, like, chance he can.
Heard that in the past as well. It's a really disturbing video. Following that, this happened just recently in July.
Oh yeah, his weird grooming behavior and shit. Dude, like, it literally is one after the other, you know, and that's, I mean, I love this picture because it looks like he's fucking sweating. It's like, oh god, oh no, oh no, oh no. I love it. Like, I mean, within a span of, like, within, like, 2 to 3 months' time, his, like I said, his eyes went from this to, like, and it just fucking dropped. And ever since then, everything else has just been a domino effect, like this type of shit.
Former employees described Steven Crowder as sexual harassment. So in case you missed this story, let me give you a bit on this. According to text messages reviewed by the outlet, Crowder sent photos of his genitals to co-workers. He would also allegedly expose his genitals to employees in person so frequently that many of them either laughed uncomfortably or showed outright disgust as a way to give him the attention he sought, as a way to get him to stop.
So basically, like, if they tried to ignore it, he literally would try to, you know, make it worse. Like, basically. They had to have a reaction. Which, that's just, yeah, like, wouldn't you think that is kind of grooming behavior? Like, hey, I'm going to normalize me showing my dick to you as a coworker, which, yeah, like, that's, like, already not a violation of, like, probably a shitload of laws. I mean, like, you already got that going on, and it's just like, you know, it's like, didn't you try to normalize it and basically make it acceptable as behavior to the point, like, whether they're disgusted or not, you know, to where they at least get a reaction out of it. Like, I mean, that's, like, textbook grooming shit right there.
The more
He's playing nuts on the table. Oh, yeah, with a hammer? Oh, yeah.
Everyone seemed, the more pleasure he seemed to get from it. It's like he couldn't understand that we weren't in on his joke, one person told Mediaite. And of course, Crowder is, known for doing the typical right-wing content of, oh, look at these groomers. This teacher is teaching their students about the existence of gay people, and that means they must be a groomer. Yet, here you have Crowder exposing himself consistently to his coworkers.
Hey, we got none butter? No? Well, hey. Now we do.
Against their will. Then comes this. Let's check out his stats here. So the Mediaite did a story on this on the 7th. Crowder's empire of hate collapses. Right here, his most recent video on the platform, speaking of YouTube, barely broke 100,000 views, and his preceding video has only 59,000 views. Likewise, with his Rumble account, Crowder's videos once received over 2 million views. He hasn't broken 1 million views on Rumble since May.
Wow. Oh.
So taking a look.
And this is his views just on Rumble. So he had like a few times where I'm assuming where these new allegations and new bits of evidence and information dropped, where these spikes happened. But and actually, in May, it looks like it was the only time where he preceded his previous speak, but that was it, and it just dropped from there. I mean, if anything, it looks like it just kind of goes back and forth a little bit, but it's always on a consistent decline. And I imagine that little uptick right there is just because of a certain video that might have, gotten a little extra bump in views. Plus YouTube views. I'm sure they'll pop up here in a minute.
Look at this consistent drop. So he announced some Rumble.
And what's funny is not only is it a consistent drop, but look at this rapid increase that he had going on before this, because this is just sporadic and insane. The only good point in any of this is this peak right here. That's it, because it happened to surpass his previous incline, but it was only for literally a day or two at most.
In early March, and then just down. I believe the spike is around the time when this story about his
wife.
His wife broke.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember in May this broke.
Yeah, so late April, early May.
Oh, yeah, that story late. Yep, yeah, makes sense.
That's when you see the spike here.
Yep.
So there's more interest in Steven Crowder at that point, but then again, dropped off, and it continues dropping off. I also question, how accurate are Rumble's views really? Yeah,
because, this is saying millions. And honestly, yeah, I don't know about that.
It doesn't have the discoverability that YouTube has. It doesn't have nearly the...
There's no way Rumble has, that much going on. Maybe it does, but I don't know. I'm a little skeptical.
The size of the audience that YouTube has. So all of this, I question. But there is clearly a consistent drop here, regardless of how bolstered or, fake the views may be in whatever... data they're pushing here. There is still a considerable drop from when he first launched his account. Now we get to today.
Well, wait, so no numbers on his YouTube views? Well, I guess we could just literally fucking look at those ourselves. You could just go to his fucking channel. Steven. I like how the first thing that comes up is Steven Crowder punched. And then nothing else about Steven Crowder comes up until right here. Yeah, we could just do this, I guess. Well, it seems like alright. 72K, 63K, 124K. So, that's like a short video anyway. 109K. Yeah, it seems like he's barely breaking over 100K. Oh, okay, here's over 500,000 right here. So he had a little spike here. So it looks like he has his spikes, but beyond his little short spikes that he'll have, he's not breaking over 100K outside of here and there. I'm assuming this is probably because, a lot of these views are probably because of the guy he's talking to. This one barely, is under 250,000. Yeah, so he's, his videos, views dropped Oh shit. Yeah, okay. Dude. Yeah, here's the... Okay, we're at 5 months right here. Dude, look at the fucking difference. Like a third a mil right there and 2.1 million views, 1.6, low under 2K, 3.5 mil, 1.3. So he was breaking millions of views until this shit happened. Very consistently. And at least, you know, breaking triple K numbers, you know, pretty consistently for all of his videos, you know, at this point. Dude. Yeah, his shit dropped the fuck off, dude. His shit dropped. Like, his numbers, like, on his, like, bigger videos, like this one, which isn't even that long, and then he's got this one. Like, these are the lowest end of the numbers of what we're looking at prior to everything happening. And they didn't even get to 100K. Like, they were at least, like, you know, quarter mil or more. Like, a third mil stuff like... This is the most viewed video ever since, you know, shit happened. Is this one, this McKinsey Uncovered thing. Which I'm assuming is probably just because, you know, the right wing probably, you know, like, have a hoopla over this. I don't know what the fuck this is about. But I'm assuming the right wing probably got some weird fucking thing about it. So that's probably why this video got a lot of views. And they're just looking at his take about it. I don't know. But obviously it's pretty abnormal in comparison to his views these days. Back in the day, if this shit didn't happen, that would be probably a multi-million viewed video right there. That'd probably be like 3-point-something million views. But not anymore. He got fucked. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, just looking at the videos themselves, like, you could just tell his shit just, like, just dropped right off the fucking radar, basically. Outside of maybe having a one-hit wonder here and there. Like, he got fucked. You know what? Good. Can we go after Matt Walsh next? Is the Daily Wire next? Because you know there's some shit going on there. What kind of thoughts would this make you have? Kyle Kashev. Dude, I remember this name. I haven't heard this name in forever. This guy, what, is this like some weird right-wing, like, college dork? Try going a whole day without playing music. You actually start thinking differently. Ideas come popping in. The headphones are ruining your brain. Kyle Kashev, you're a fucking moron. Dude, ideas come popping in my head when I play music. Because honestly, if I don't have at least have something to maybe help, like, you know, get some, like, juices flowing, like, my brain literally will either be just like, or it'll be like thinking about 8,000 things till Sunday. It's one or the other, really. Like, I mean, that's just kind of the thing about the tism sometimes. Like, it's usually one or the other, you know, depending on my energy. You know, so it's just like, what do you mean? Like, honestly, music kind of helps to at least put some focus to that. Even if I'm more lower energy, or, you know, my brain's going blah, 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 you know, whatever the fuck. I mean, it's like, either way, it kind of helps, like, hone in that shit. Music tends to be very provocative for a lot of people. Without music violent, but, you know. Yeah, well, I mean, I can handle it. There's definitely been times where, like, you know, like, during a day, like... Okay, I'm saying like a lot. But during the day, I might listen to probably legit maybe 30 minutes worth of music, you know, throughout the day, which isn't a lot, you know, but sometimes I'll go hours, you know, of, like, in the day listening to music, you know, whether it's just background music, just something in the background, or generally, you know, like, listening into it, or looking at a music video, whatever the fuck. Like, I mean... It sometimes it depends. I mean, it just depends on the day. I mean, but sometimes I might... But I'm always at least listening to some music. It's not like some sort of, like, turn your brain off and go... Because a lot of fucking music is very provocative. And it can, you know, and if anything, you know, have a lot of, like, social or political commentary or cultural commentary and stuff like that. Whether as a critique or maybe an avocation or whatever the fuck. I mean, especially when it comes to things like metal or punk and rock music and blues and jazz, like, there's a lot of, like, social commentary and a lot of just broader, like, commentary in a lot of songs, and a lot of artists, you know, make it kind of a point to add, you know, some sort of political social commentary to their music. I mean, especially if you listen to, like, music like blues, punk, and metal and rock, like, I mean, you'll certainly hear a lot of it, depending on who you listen to. I mean, you know, because there's a lot of artists that generally, you know, like, understand that, you know, type of, you know, like, necessity to, you know, put, like, a, you know, a thought-provoking thing, you know, to music. Because it's what helps stimulate the mind. Kind of makes you think about it. Gives you a sense of, you know, sympathy to, you know, like, that type of struggle in a way, you know, depending, or like, you know, that type of, you know, mentality or that idea or whatever the fuck. What I thought I was gonna do? Aren't you buying the Diddy Kong Gracie Notes CD? I'm spilling up a goddamn tray base CD player because it was shaped like a, like Diddy said. What the fuck? Dude, why would they make a CD, like, literally in that fucking shape? Dude, why? That's so fucking dumb. Frosty Village was sound so sick. Matter of fact, they got back, or why not just keep this shape normal in any case, like the character said. Or they could just have the character set on CD, but just make it a regular fucking CD. You know, just a good old regular circular CD, and then just have his face templated like that. Like, I mean, it would still look dumb, but, I mean, whatever. Like, it wouldn't be this. Like, how would you, like, would this even work? Would this even work as a CD? Yeah, how do you even play this? Like, is it registering the circular thing inside, or what? Like, I mean, what the fuck? How's this work? This is hurting my head. I want to smash it, honestly. Fuck that.
From Mediaite here, 4 Steven Crowder staffers exit.
Would have to be, it'd have to be the one you... It'd have to be in the one you slide in. I think. I don't know. Because I don't see it fitting in a tray. I don't think it would. I don't know. Like, it's... dude, they shouldn't... It's just... That's just so dumb.
After interrogations and insane NDAs. So these NDAs were... It makes total sense why... I'm surprised more people didn't leave. I'm not sure how many people he employs, but 4 people left because if they had broke the NDA, they'd be penalized with $100,000. So discussing any workplace, whatever's happening in the workplace, if they discussed any of that with, you know, media, whatever, they would owe $100,000. Now, I also question how enforceable the NDA is.
Probably not. I mean, I don't know what's in it, but I imagine if it's, quote, insane, then I imagine there's probably such crazy shit that it, like, it probably wouldn't be able to be held up in court as a contract.
Part of what you're agreeing to is illegal activity. So, here is a bit of the story. Quote, Stephen was livid, a source close to the Rumble host told Mediaite. This is after the initial story came out that I showed you earlier about the sexual harassment. He and Gerald Morgan, the other person that runs the show there, said they knew someone was talking to you, the author of this piece in Mediaite, based on the article you wrote. They said whoever text messaged former employees about us not being able to hang out with them would be given amnesty if we confessed by 2 p.m. If no one confessed, they would see it as malice. No one confessed, so they started interrogating a few people. During the meeting, Crowder downplayed his sexual misconduct allegations, said another source close to the soon-to-be-divorced father of 2. Here's where it gets even crazier. Quote, if you're not okay with guys playing sack tap, then this isn't the place for you, the source said, Crowder told staff, referring to the act of tapping another person's genitals. After the interrogation of current staffers, 4 employees...
If you're not okay with being, you know, like, unconsensually molested by me or sack tapped, then this ain't the place for you. As long as I, you know, can take advantage of you and that's okay, then this is the workplace for you. But if not, then get the fuck out of here. Bruh.
You're required to engage in sack tap if you want to work for Steven Crowder. This is why I question how enforceable the NDA would be, because NDAs don't cover illegal activity.
And that would be, like, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a lot of laws being broken with that. Just because of, like, you know, the violation of, like, you know, privacy and, you know, sexual harassment. There just seems like a lot of things going on here that would be illegal.
That said, if you're agreeing ahead of time...
I mean, honestly, like, could Crowder potentially be jailed for this shit? Like, could he actually, like, be put, like, in prison for fucking charges, you know, over something like this? Because I have a strong feeling that there probably could be a case for that. And if so, fucking based.
To be groped and to grope others, then is the NDA enforceable? Because you're being told this is going to happen. You must engage in this behavior. This is a part of our workplace. SACTAP is you must touch my balls if you want to work here. It's a part of the workplace. So I guess if you're told ahead of time, maybe the NDA is enforceable. I'm not sure about the legality or illegality of these NDAs and how they're enforced, but I have to imagine there's some legal questions there about how enforceable this NDA would be.
I don't think it is. I really don't think there is.
I don't know why my mind goes here. I mean, I know why, because I grew up watching Seinfeld. But there's a Seinfeld scene where George is in a job interview at a restaurant, and he's being offered a bite of pie that he doesn't want. And one of the employees there says to him, "If you're one of us, you'll take a bite.
If you're one of us, you'll take a bite.
If you're one of us, you'll touch my balls."
Oh, God. Yeah. That's like Steven Crowder right there. It's like, if you're one of us, you shall not only touch them, but you should now caress them and massage them and make sure that they're treated like your children.
How this came
fucking
up.
Freak, dude.
This is just so completely insane. This is the individual that the Daily Wire offered a $50 million contract to. The guy that requires ball touching in his workplace. It shows just the total rot that is at the heart of conservative media when you have an individual like this worth $50 million over 4 years.
Because they don't care. Like, I mean, when it comes to this type of behavior, it's okay when they do it, but if someone who happens to be gay or happens to be trans or, you know, drag queen or anything else that isn't on their side, then it's seen as morally depraved and horrible and degenerate and evil. Like, this type of behavior is normal to them. Like, just straight up. Like, they don't see it as, like, you know, some sort of a weird thing outside of maybe, like, a few, you know, conservative types of shit. Not every conservative necessarily sees Steven Crowder's behavior as, like, you know, just normal. But a fat chunk of them, at least especially, you know, the types like him, like these wannabe jock bro fucks, I mean, for sure. And they come in all ages. Like, I mean, there's, like, you know, the Ted Cruz types. You know, Giuliani, who's, like, a fucking weird perv. It's like, those are my tits. Give me those titties. Those are mine. You know, being a fucking weirdo and shit with those leaks, dude. I mean, you know, it's like, you got, I mean, they're all ages and shit, and you got all these fucking weird sleazy pervs that would absolutely love this type of fucking behavior. But, I mean, to be fair, not every single one of them is, or else he wouldn't drop off like he has. But, I mean, goddamn, dude. Like, I mean, it really kind of shows that, at least to a certain extent, this weird, like, quote-unquote, moral degeneracy that they fucking bitch and moan about. Like, there's only, like, you know, I guess, in a way, like, luckily, but also sadly, you know, there's, you know, not as many of them, you know, partake in that behavior, you know, as much, like, in comparison to what, you know, you might think. Or at least, you know, brazenly, like Steven Crowder does.
But,
I say sadly, because obviously, just because I think it'd just be better if, like, they just embraced it in a way. But it's also good because, like, this is not how you embrace it. Like, you know, doing weird sexual harassment and all this other shit, that's just, like, no, that's fucked.
Crowder, of course, you know, he's always after the groomers. He tweeted this out a year ago in May. The best way to appreciate the good teachers out there is to point out and punish the others who are trying to corrupt and groom our children. Teacher Appreciation Week, not Groomer Appreciation Week. Yes, Crowder, God. Very worried about the groomers.
Oh, yeah, and very worried about the conditions and the quality of life for teachers. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Touch my balls. is what he's concerned about in his workplace.
Yeah, chill, gay, cause you shook my balls.
Last thing here, showing you that their workplace is not improving based on moves like this. Michael Spadone, a former field director at Project Veritas who was accused of kissing and groping a former colleague in a since-settled lawsuit, has been brought on the Louder with Crowder team.
Go figure.
Crowder saw it as a questionable hiring decision due to the recent claims against Spadone.
And Crowder, but you know what? Like, birds of a feather flock together, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's like, of course, you know, they're going to, you know, like, these weird creepy pervs are all gonna, like, you know, stand together with each other. I mean, which honestly really shows more so about them, and it's just a fucking indictment to them more so than anything else.
So, this is who they're surrounding themselves with, people like this. I cannot imagine working for someone like that. Look, I understand people are put in precarious positions where, you know, they have bills to pay, right? So if you're stuck at that job, you got some bills to pay, you may force yourself through this. But there has to be other choices out there. If you have the skills of someone working on, you know, a production team, you could probably work somewhere else as opposed to a place where you are required to.
I mean, honestly, it like if someone's struggling with some fucking money, and like if I was in shit, well, I am, but like I mean, if I was, you know, so bad to where I had to work for this motherfucker, I literally would rather take fucking McDonald's, dude. I'm not saying something like I never fucking worked there. And I'd rather work there than fucking Steven Crowder's workplace. I mean, goddamn, at least I would have some fucking integrity, you know, working at McDonald's. Not a lot, but at least some.
Balls touched and touch others' balls. It's just so, it's so bizarre. Every accusation from someone like this is
a confession.
Admitting that they have something to hide. So Crowder, of course, has been, you know, integral in the right wing sphere in the sense of, you know, accusing others of doing things that are grooming other people. Meanwhile, we have the greatest example of a groomer right here in Steven Crowder.
I mean, it's just like that's just typical of him. It's just typical of a, you know, of a conservative, honestly, in a lot of ways. I mean, even if they're not, like, so fucking brazen, like, you know, they are, you know, when it comes to Crowder and his ilk and shit, they still do it. Like, I mean, it's like I said, a lot of them, you know, don't necessarily, you know, have it just, like, flexed out, you know, plumed out like a peacock. And, you know, Crowder's just one of those types where he peacocks it. Like, I mean, he can't be like a preacher or like a pastor or something like that where they hide it under this veneer of, like, you know, moral, you know, good or some shit, even though obviously it ain't. You know, so it's like, it's one of those things where you know, at least, you know, like, there's some sense of obfuscation, like, but with Crowder, there isn't. He's just brazen about it, don't give a fuck. And obviously, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're gonna try it out in a small town, you're gonna fuck around and find out. And Crowder did. He tried that in a small town, he fucked around and found out. Did Jason Aldean just kind of unleash a meme with that? I'm gonna continue to appropriate that. Sounds like Jason Aldean kind of tried out in a small town, fucked around and found out and realized that, hey, cuts both ways, don't it? Dude, there is so much fucking crazy news about the whole shit going on in Maui. Some Maui resident describes evacuating her family of 8. Jesus. Man, it kind of gives me a little flashbacks to when I saw, like, the looming red night sky, you know, with the fucking fires that are, like, out by Estacada and shit. Because that ain't really that far away from me. So it's like, man, like, that shit, you know, is honestly, to me, way too fucking real. Like, I mean, because there's an off chance that, you know, my fucking community can be impacted by something like that. I wouldn't say this year. Or maybe even necessarily next year. But sometime, you know, in the future, it's bound to fucking happen. If that's the case, then, well, fuck me, I wouldn't even know what to do. That just, I mean, that would just be insane. But yeah, it's just becoming more of a fucking reality. Ugh. Got to love to hate it. Boo. I mean, luckily I just kind of live in an area where, at least, you know, as long as our state, you know, continues to, you know, at least, you know, have, like, measures and precautions to try to at least combat, you know, these type of issues. Which are, you know, especially on the local area and in my region, at least in my county, there's definitely been a lot more of a, you know, like aggressive approach about trying to deal with this. Like the last special election that we had was mostly about like education things, and the measure was specifically about trying to increase funding and you know, increase the like different things and assets and material that, you know, these fire departments in my county that would be most likely on the front lines of any wildfires, you know, would to get like better funding and stuff like that, so they have more resources available to combat that. And obviously I'm making sure that happens. I'm voting yes on that, and it did pass, because obviously a lot of people in the county remember what happens a few years back in 2020, and we don't want that to fucking happen again. Or at least if it does, you know, then there's a lot more resources available to combat it. And just because it's, you know, obviously none of us want to see that again. And that ain't a fucking political issue at all, in the sense of like whether you're right or left. I mean, there was conservatives that voted overwhelmingly, you know, about that, being like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Respect the firefighters, you know, they're patriots and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, they got their own fucking, like, you know, takes on it. Is there a little rat over there or something? This fucking rat did, like, get caught in his trap already. Ugh. I think I might have moved because I'm starting to hear shit over there. Oh, I think it just might be my dog. I won't be surprised if the rat's like fucking moving around. Especially back over here. Because there hasn't really been much food in here at all in the last couple days, outside of what's in this trap. So I think the rat is starting to get to the point where it's making its way around over here, but it's not quite in there yet. I don't think it said fuck it, you know, and decided to go in there quite yet. Though as soon as that little bastard does, dude. Actually, you know, thinking about it, I probably could put like a... Nah, you know, I just have to do the patient game. I can't, I ain't gonna fuck with it. Gotta be patient. At least the one in here, because there's activity in here, so it's gonna probably take way longer. I haven't seen any rats outside recently, so I don't know if any of them moved on or what, but I'm starting to think they might have fucked off. Caught one. I think that one was making so much noise last time that I think, you know, the rest of them decided to flee and run away. Which, if that's the case, then good. I mean, go away, please. I don't want the rats around here. But I still got the one little bastard in here, though, so as soon as I catch this little guy, then I think I might be in the clear, because the big one that I've seen before, I haven't seen in a while. That's the only other one that I could think of that's outside, you know, that could potentially be, you know, rummaging around and shit. So, just have to wait and see. That's what I hate about live traps. You just gotta be patient. It doesn't really happen immediately as soon as you set them up. That's what's annoying about them. But once you do, it's kind of nice. It's a little exciting. It's actually kind of, good feeling, when I caught the last rat, because, as soon as I picked up the little guy and kind of calmed down and chilled out, he poked his little head out for the grates and just kind of stared at me for a second. I was like, I think the little dude realized, like, hey, I'm not a threat, and, little dude's gonna be alright. As soon as I released him, or released her, like, she eventually just, like, kind of wandered around just right outside the trap, kind of took one look at me and just kind of, like, hopped it, into some vines and some underbrush and just kind of, like, slowly wandered away. I didn't even bother to, like, freaking the fuck out, bolting out, running off. I think a lot of it was just because I think at a certain point I recognized that I wasn't a threat. And so when I first approached it, it was on stream when I first approached the, the rat, and it was freaking the fuck out, when I first approached it. The second time I had a towel and wrapped it around the trap a little bit, and after that I think it kind of calmed the hell down, and I just, started walking, and at that point it just was more curious about me and would, like, kind of walk around the grates, poking his little head through and be like, so what the fuck are you? Hey, what's up, Venom? What's up, man? Oh, okay. I honestly thought that was a fucking rat. But nope.
Really, dog? Come on.
Got a new bank link to a few of your PayPal's. New credit union bitches. Nice.
No matter where you go, you're always in the way. Yeah, you bonehead.
I just gotta shove them out of the way.
Yeah. I gotta give one a cat first. There's no hard feelings, but come on.
Goofy little fucking dork.
Yeah, you bonehead.
He's just stretching, just like.
It takes forever to stretch. There you go.
The most cat-like dog ever, dude. Goofy ass little cat. Well, dog, but I mean, at this point, he might as well be an oversized cat that looks like a dog. It's got dog hardware, but cat software. Basically like a fox, but not a fox. Because the meme is that, at least with foxes and vulpines, that they're basically dog hardware, but cat software, but I'm pretty sure Zukov is way more accurate to that description than a fox. Here, yeah, little things on tube. Oh, you know what? I could just go check out the Reddit, because why not? Let's see what there can be some shit over here.
Come up here and bug me.
What?
Get your dirt. Yeah.
Several arrested for organized trespassing, property destruction. This is the first thing that pops up, and of course it's the Portland subreddit. The fuck's going on here? What's the business? Obviously, this isn't random. It's like, wait, there's Wikipedia's pages on these dudes. 2 of them are activists. Animal rights activists. Wait, really? Well, let's just click on the first guy. This Jerry Vlasak. It's an animal rights activist and former trauma surgeon and press officer for North American Liberation Press Office, former director of the Animal Defense League of LA, and Okay. He came to former actress or band from UK. Damn. Wait. Oh, they heard has been criticized for legitimizing use of violence against animal researchers. He told a discussion group at Around conference 203, I think there is a use of violence in our movement. I think it can be effective strategy. Not only is it morally acceptable, I think there are places where it could be quite effectively from a pragmatic standpoint. So, damn. So, all right, kind of a radical dude. Inspired by his now ex-wife, former actress Pamela Fairden, who was okay. Huh. At least that's this guy. What about the other dude? They didn't think there'd be Wikipedia pages on some of these guys. And also an animal rights activist. Conspiracy to violate animal enterprise terrorism act. Wait, whoa! Oh shit! Damn. That's quite a fucking conviction. 2009 at 25, Buddenberg was indicted along with Miriam Kajavi, protesting and attempting to forcibly enter the home of a researcher of the University of California. The ETA-4 case was dismissed by the U.S. Judiciary, but the charges were not specific enough. July 24, 2015, Buddenberg, 31, is co-conspirator Nicole Cassagne were arrested and federally indicted by the FBI after releasing 5,740 mink from fur farms and sabotaging fur industry targets. Holy shit. I mean, questionably based? 2016, both Buddenberg and Cassagne pleaded guilty in charge of the conspiracy to violate animal. So this is not that long ago. I mean, second Joseph was sentenced to from his prison 2 years. Damn. Well, alright. I didn't think these motherfuckers got some wiki pages, but I guess some of them do. So when it was loud and rowdy across the end, I couldn't quite make it out when it was tense. I had to go investigate when I was done. They had vanished. Joe Buddenberg has been done to time about search for nuclear some change, work petitions, so a period of bans and some business related animals that had fun there, then saw like animal skin clothing in a fashion store in the mall and just couldn't handle it, so I acted out. So arrested. So I guess 7 people were arrested on this. I mean, I'm honestly guys curious about specific details. I mean, it's from the Portland Gov site. Tuesday, so yesterday? I guess technically 2 days ago. Central. Several dozen? Shit, a lot of people. Cousin servants, closing sound of fled ashes, noisemakers. It seems like that would garner more attention than not. Some place really retreated to an office. So wait, was this? Wait, it was done in the middle of the day. So okay, well, damn. Wait, at 4:58, like they were dispatched. Oh my fucking god, that really shows incompetence of the cops, don't they? And then it's just showing all the other people that were fucking caught. Okay, well. It doesn't even say anything specifically, even in here. It just says a door's damaged and some stuff was thrown on the floor. It doesn't even say anything else. Like, wow. Even the actual link doesn't even describe much. I mean, so, like, what the fuck? Not really much to fucking, like, you know, base it off of. Cubs protect the third. Well, yeah, like 3 hours later. Which, if that's the case, I'm actually kind of surprised that, you know, people were caught. Like, I guess it must have, like, I mean, I guess at a certain point, like, they all just, like, at least some people stuck around or something? I mean, I don't know. It's definitely dumb. I mean, why in the middle of the day? They could be more successful if you did it in the middle of the night. It just definitely seems like kind of a shit show. The right can't meme. Wait, what? What conspiracies are they talking about? Free thinking is better than blind following. Who knew? Huh? Most right-wing conspiracy theorists have been correct about pretty much everything. You owe them apology, but everyone knows you won't do it because you're too proud to admit that you're wrong. Huh? Okay. What? This is like, huh? Right about what? Nothing? Like, I mean, huh? That don't even make sense. They didn't even name anything that they could potentially maybe have a point with. They're just like, we're just right about it all, fuck you. What specifically? Everything. Are true. I mean, no shit. I mean, like, I'm actually trying to think, like, is there any of them that you could even remotely have some truth to it? And at least right off the bat, no. I'm not thinking of anything. I mean, there's a few of them that I kind of wish were, like, you know, like, get chemicals turn everyone, like, fucking into crazy, like, you know, gays or some shit, or fucking, like, you know, like, Jewish laser space weapons, you know, they're just, like, in orbit or something. Like, I kind of wish some of their shit was true, because at least then it would be fucking, like, a more exciting world to live in. But no, we live in a boring shit world, and like none of these crazy things are true. So it's like, fuck. I mean, it's just on that level I kind of wish they were. Not because, you know, oh, I just wish they were right, but just because it would just make the world more exciting. That's it. Like, or you know, like, or reptilians, or like, you know, amongst us or something. Oh my god, that would make our world so much more fucking exciting. Or the idea that the Jews literally do run the world. I mean, it would be kind of interesting to see how, you know, if that was, like, fucking true, like, see how that would fucking do anything. I mean, if the idea of, like, Jewish spice lasers are a thing, then, I mean, there's at least, you know, presumption that they do, so at least one kind of implies another. But still, it's like, that ain't the case, but at least, or like I said, our world will be more exciting, and it would be like, oh shit, you know, kind of things going on. Be like, oh damn, that's going on? Whoa. So like a town could just be like wiped out with like, you know, Jewish, you know, space lasers that are fucking inciting wildfires. So it's like, whoa. That would explain Maui when I won it. I mean, see, it's just like, that's what I mean. It's like, if that was true, that things like, you know, the Maui fires and all this other shit would just basically be like, oh yeah, the Jewish space lasers. But no! Our world is not cool enough to have some crazy shit like that. We're not cool enough to have that, because we suck. So, there you go. Like, I mean, I come from that level, from that, like, realm and level of things, where it's just like, I wish we were, like, that exciting as a species, but no, we're not. We try, but we're not. If some of us try way too fucking hard. He did not eat himself. Okay, well, the thing is, that's not even a right-wing conspiracy theory. That's just like a general conspiracy theory that most people do believe in. And it's honestly more likely the right wing, you know, thinks that he didn't eat himself. And in fact, honestly, there are some conservatives and shit, and a lot of right-wingers that do generally think he just, like, faked his death. I mean, I never really hear anyone on the left saying that, genuinely. Maybe as a joke, but not literally. Like, because I've said it as a joke before in the past, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, he's just like, you know, in Luxury Island with Musk or something like that. But, like, I made the jokes before, but I don't actually think that. Like, you know, he didn't eat himself. So, That's most people believe that because honestly, given every fucking circumstance that happened around that, yeah, like he didn't kill himself. He had no way to do it. Like, I mean, there was like, I mean, they're just like considering his confinement and stuff, and considering where he was, there was no way for him to actually even attempt to it, unless he literally just bashed his head against the wall a bunch of times until he died. Like, I mean, but obviously that's not what happened. There's no way he just went until he passed out. And if that's the case, he just would have passed out. He wouldn't have died. So it's just like, I mean, you could do this enough to where you might pass out if you're just doing it like this, but like, I mean, I doubt you're gonna literally like asphyxiate yourself to death, you know, by just doing this to the point you pass out, and then you just kind of slump, and then, well, then you lose all the fucking restriction, and then it just goes right back to your fucking brain. Like, it ain't good for you, no one do it, but, you know, it's like, there ain't no way you're gonna fucking die from it. Like, so, that only kind of implies that someone aided in that. And considering that security camps were off, the security guard that was supposed to be there just apparently took like a little 15-minute smoke break or some shit, you know, conveniently. You know, it's like took an extended break and all sorts of shit. All the fucking things, you know, when it comes to like the suspicions around it, just fall way too much in place. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's not a right-wing conspiracy theory. I mean, it's just like one that it's like the JFK thing or something. It's like most people realize there's some bullshit going on. You don't necessarily have to be a right-winger to, you know, have some, you know, belief in a conspiracy. Because I certainly believe in some conspiracy theories, but obviously I'm not a right-winger. But I also don't believe in absurd, dumbass conspiracy theories. I believe ones that generally kind of have some merit to it. Like the JFK one, or like, you know, or like SF Rich, or, you know, Epstein, or, you know, like ones that generally have like, you know, it's like obviously the whole like surface level story about what's going on here is some bullshit. And every little detail surrounding it seems a little off considering the whole official story. That doesn't mean there's probably like some insane, crazy Machiavellian thing, but, you know, could be. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's like, you know, Jewish space lasers or whatever the fuck, or the Anunnaki running everything. I mean, it doesn't mean that. It just means that we don't know the full facts of a story, and, you know, because it would be a major indictment of our government. And obviously they don't want that. They don't want to look guilty. Now, at least for the JFK one, I think, you know, the reason why, you know, in some part there's conspiracy behind it, because, and there is at least one picture, you have to prove it, where there's a potential theory where a Secret Service agent accidentally discharged one of the more, like, early prototypes for an M16, and, you know, the Secret Service got some of these rifles, but they didn't like them at all. But one of them happened to, or at least a few of them happened to have those weapons serviced to them during that whole event. And when the first shot rang out, like, one of them immediately grabbed that rifle to, you know, like, you know, be on the ready and shit. And because, you know, the van or the limo that he was in, you know, suddenly accelerated to try to, well, get the fuck out of there, you know, to make sure that the president can get to safety. Like, that, you know, caused him to lose his balance and discharge his rifle unintentionally, and due to sheer circumstance, it fucking hit him right in the head. So that, you know, video of the, you know, him getting his head blown up was the accidental discharge. Allegedly. I mean, I don't know if it's solely true, but considering that it's at least, you know, photos to show the weapon and a lot of different Secret Service members and like other, you know, special forces that prior to it being put into service, you know, that had these weapons prior, and noted a lot of fucking problems with it. You know, like, it kind of adds up a little bit, especially, you know, considering that one thing that was known for it was accidental discharges. That thing would pop off, like, with the tiniest little touch of the trigger. So it's like, especially if you hear a shot go off and you're a Secret Service member, you're going to have your shit on the ready being like, where the fuck's that shooter? And if shit's, you know, so chaotic and you get jolted and you suddenly, like, you know, get bumped back and your finger happens to be on that trigger, that's just going off. Especially if it's very touchy. So it's just like, I mean, honestly, especially considering there's at least one photo that shows one of the Secret Service members with that rifle during his assassination, it's likely that his actual death, was accidental. Hence why there's the whole second shooter theory. I think that's probably why. I don't think there literally was one. I think there just accidentally was one because a Secret Service member just fucked up. Which would be an obvious, insane major indictment to the government if you really think about it, and would be a major indictment to the Secret Service itself. Because, are they competent enough? It suddenly starts adding questions and a lot of skepticism to the security of, the government, even in its own self, and the qualifications of the people that are in it. So it's it's even if it's fuck up like that, because I do think Oswald was the dude to try to shoot him initially and try to kill him. I believe that, but I don't know if he was the one who necessarily made the kill shot, but I think he was attempting to do that shit. And because of all the circumstances, with the situation, especially considering Oswald's very suspicious, leanings and shit, especially being tied to the CIA as well. It's he was an easy scapegoat. He just is very convenient, considering his own background. So it made it very easy for a conspiracy to really blow up from that. And I think, honestly, it probably is something as incidental like that. I don't really think it's some extra, crazy Machiavellian thing where it's some other CIA agent on the grassy knoll or some shit. I don't really necessarily buy that. When I heard about the theory about the Secret Service member with those experimental weapons, that eventually became the M16, it kind of adds a little merit, especially at least that there are photos, or at least one, that, shows, some of them with them. So, at least to me, it does somewhat make sense. And considering that the government does tend to cover up a lot of their accidental fuck-ups a lot, it does kind of make sense. Especially as one is severely, a big fuck up like that. There ain't no way the government gonna admit to that. They're gonna be no, we didn't accidentally shoot our own president. Nope. They're not gonna say that. They're never gonna admit to that. Because that would be, an insane fucking embarrassment. Because it is. Because if that really is truly what happened, then that is a fucking insane embarrassment on all sorts of levels. And just fucking sad. Because, if, that didn't happen, then Kennedy probably could have survived. Theoretically. Because at least, considering, Oswald's shots, he wasn't exactly very good. Because his first shot, grazed his fucking neck. He, given if he got enough medical attention at the time, he could have survived it. So it's I don't really necessarily think, he would have, made a kill shot. Maybe. But I don't know. By that point, who knows? It's just one of those things where who fucking knows? What's even crazy is because, I have family in Texas and they live in Dallas. Some of them are in Dallas at the time. And I don't know where they have it, but I actually don't even know if any of them know where it is, but they know for sure that they have at least some newspapers, original newspapers from that fucking day, of the whole incident. And, from what they said, they don't know where it is, but they know they have it somewhere. And honestly, the day that they recover that shit, holy fuck, that'd be so cool. Imagine, reading for some of that. That'd be really crazy. Space, what the fuck? Yeah, well, I had to at least, let my whole thing out. Wait, what? Fist wife, okay. What? You sent emojis, but they didn't send through. Sadly. Because at least as far as we know, have a power problem. Ross just used sweet kinetic energy, and therefore much cheaper than lasers. Come on, I'm eager to hear your thoughts on this. Stop rambling. Oh my god. God, at least let me, get my thoughts out. Jesus Christ. I mean, honestly, I do think, like, Tuscan rods and stuff like that are definitely, more achievable as, like, a weapon in space. Like, yeah, lasers, you know, require a lot of energy, and to have some sort of, like, like, storage of energy that would be enough to at least use it, you know, multiple times on a satellite would be it would be big. I mean, it would probably, at least, I'd argue, probably the size of the ISS, you know, if you think about it. Only bands and nukes. And it probably should be expanding. It should probably expand that across the board, at least, you know, when it comes to our own fucking planet. Arguably, I could see, you know, weapons of space being used as a deterrence against, you know, potentially Earth, you know, or extinction level asteroids and shit like that. But, I mean, you know, beyond that, need a mini nuclear reactor to power a laser in space. Well, good luck put one up there. Or at least having some way to put it up there in the first place. Like, that shit seems like it would have to be assembled in space. And, would that even be possible? I mean, maybe, but, like, we don't really know if we can technically, like, have it all turned on and work just like it would here on our own fucking planet. I mean, I'm assuming it probably would be able to, but there's, like, other factors, you know, that are playing a role in that. Like, I mean, because if we got, like, a nuclear reactor, then obviously we're using atomic particles to, you know, create energy, whether, you know, with fusion or fission. And, you know, like, that's going to create, like, some sort of variable when you have it in the vacuum of space. Because now it's in zero gravity. So, I mean, would it work? I mean, I'd assume maybe. In fact, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, like, it probably would actually work maybe even easier, because if it's in the vacuum space, you don't necessarily have gravity being an impact on, you know, like, on the, like, atomic processes going on. So, I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just a fucking layman. I'm a stoner bro, so I don't fucking know, but I mean, I'd assume it would either be easier or harder, depending on, like, how those atoms would react to being in a vacuum of space, you know, considering, you know, being in a nuclear reactor or something. I mean, I think we actually should put defensive asteroids or propaganda against hostile alien purposes. As far as I'm concerned right now, like, okay, look, I mean, even let's say if aliens did exist, I don't even think people give enough of a fuck about aliens, you know, for that to be a priority. Because there's that whole recent thing about, like, you know, that one dude basically saying, yeah, aliens are a thing. And no one gave a shit. Like, I mean, there was people that talked about it, but no one really gave that much of a fuck about it. I mean, there's like, yeah, how's this help my rent? I don't give a fuck. Like, most people didn't really give a shit. If anything, there was more memes about, like, oh, are they real? Then where the fuck are they? Can they, you know, take me away? Like, there was more memes about shit like that than anything. I don't really think people give as much of a shit as, you know, we probably should. You know, like, I mean, but, you know, I think it's just because, you know, the paradigm on our own planet is so fucked. I don't think people have enough time to give enough of a fuck about, you know, the idea of aliens. If anything, they probably think it would be a benefit, which, fuck, I'd argue that, to be honest with you. But need to trigger a conscious event. I don't even know if that would be, though. In the current fuck paradigm right now, I don't even know if that would be the case. I think a lot of people would just embrace and be collaborators or something, or just embrace their death. I don't fucking know. I mean, I at least right now, I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. I mean, because people didn't really give that much of a fuck about the claim that we were hiding and harboring, like, alien bodies and have, like, you know, a treaty with some international galactic alien empire or something. No one gave that much of a shit. I don't really think it's necessarily true anyway. I think it's all bullshit, you know, with those claims, but no one really cared. I still think people should, because I want people to be, like, critical of stuff like that. Be like, oh, is that the case? Then where's the fucking evidence, bitch? But, like, I wish, but they're like, oh, aliens? Cool. Anyway, how's my bill? Like, you know, can I get food tonight? You know, like, most people didn't care. Which I get, but I wish people did. But, I mean, our paradigm kind of makes it hard for that to be the case. What's the shit? Maybe back in the 90s. Yeah, that's, you know, that's kind of what I mean. Post-Soviet world promised future never manifested. I mean, shit, even the, you know, Soviet world. I mean, you know, look at all the space, like, cosmonaut-style propaganda of the Soviet Union at the time, dude. It was, like, very futuristic, and, I mean, I'd argue even kind of like Star Trekian in a way, you know, like, even before that was, like, you know, a concept, in a sense. Like, I mean, say what you want about the Soviet Union, but, like, at least one thing that they really took pride in was their space program. And, you know, and they took pride in the idea that that was, like, something that was, like, you know, one of their, like, bastions, basically, which I argue is kind of true. Like, I mean, you know, like, they were the first ones to put a fucking satellite into space. I mean, they're, you know, like, they were damn close to being the first ones to put a fucking man on the moon, but we beat them to that. Like, I mean, when it comes to the whole space program and, like, the space race, like, they were beating us at first, like, for quite a while. Like, and because of that... Huh?
Just barely we beat them by putting a man on the moon.
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, and that's what I mean, like, Soviets, like, literally took... Yeah, about it, yeah, because honestly, like, we took, you know, because Soviets generally took pride in their space program because it was, like, one of the big successful things that they had going on, because honestly, they were flexing on the whole world. They kind of were. It's like, yeah, we put shit in space, bitch.
Man on it because we just did a week earlier. So
yeah.
Their man on the moon mission are just like, well, we'll just orbit it a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, they got, yeah, I mean, you know, well, while they were orbiting, we were too. I mean, a lot of those Apollo missions, you know, were more about trying to, like, you know, see if we can at least get up there and orbit around and stuff like that before even landing there.
Yeah, the arms race.
Yeah, I mean, the specifically space race, but yeah, a part of it was kind of an arms race too.
They're pretty much the same thing.
No, yeah, I guess. It's all part of the whole Cold War era, so, I mean, it all kind of ties into the same shit. But at least I would argue that, like, I mean, that was a meritable thing for them to have some pride in, though, because, like, Soviet space program did kind of put some fires on America's ass, if you really think about it, because they would have been, like, you know, like the head of the golden age of, you know, space technology, because they were very heavily invested on, you know, putting forth more into that.
We're way behind, and then Kennedy's just like, no, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, like, Kennedy was pretty adamant about it. Because he kind of realized that, like, if the Soviets were able to achieve, like, going to the moon and, like, putting a man there and stuff, they would have been basically in the golden age of space technology and advancement, and also, because of that, been, like, in their own little, like, cultural golden age because of, like, their space, you know, explorational successes at the time. Like I said, it kind of put a lot of logs, you know, on fire under America's ass, you know, to really kind of get their shit in gear.
Put a man on the moon, and we failed at everything else. Then we put a man on the moon, the Soviets are just like, yeah, whatever, costs too much. We don't got the money.
And it costs too much, and the space shit's getting ridiculous, but we'll still continue to explore and advance our shit. We're just not going to do it competitively anymore.
So you got crash, I guess it's Wednesday, that's crash night, if I recall.
Oh, wait on. Damn it! I'm just seeing where last left off here. Stargate showed ironically a better world where China started opening up and westernizing, and Putin never took over Russia. So Stargate unironically had a better future after the post-Soviet world than we did. God damn it! Well, that just shows that we'll never have the Stargate universe. And that to show the UNO was consolidating powers from the world government after announcing aliens existing with some hostiles, some friends. Everything is some warp back behind the hub and trade, and guys, well, the UN kept all the pieces and aliens under wraps until the announcement. Lost Stargate SG-1 lately again. Wish we live in that timeline. Dude, you're making me want to live in that timeline too. I didn't even realize that. Dude, my dad really loved Stargate SG-1. I watched a lot of it as a kid, you know, just because he would watch it a lot, and god damn it, like, not that he told me some of the back lore behind it. God, you're making me wish that, like, that universe existed. Stargate SG-1.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew exactly he was going to do that.
Every day.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up kind of watching it a little bit because he would watch it all the time. I would sit down and watch it a little bit.
Oh, I love that show. It's
Atlantis.
cheesy, but really good.
Yeah, it's a little cheesy, but it's good. And also kind of culturally put some fame to the FNP-90 too, because all the, humans were using that weapon. So, that actually kind of in a way put some fame to the gun. Good Belgian gun, too.
Yeah, I wanted to have one of them staff weapons.
Oh, those staff weapons? Oh, dude, for real, though. Those staff weapons are pretty crazy.
You have one end.
Yeah, it's like a little laser weapon.
Whack!
Yeah, a laser weapon, but also a melee weapon. Atlantis is good, but SG-1 is better IMO. I like both. But yeah, SG-1's a little better. I do agree. I think most people kind of agree with that. I mean, not that, like, Atlantis is bad, but, I mean, I think SG-1's just...
It's real cheesy, but it's great at the same time. It's just...
Well, I mean, a lot of the cheesiness was mainly because of the lack of, the technology for CGI and stuff at the time. I mean, a lot of CGI and shit was kind of cheesy, but I think it was just because...
Cheesiness just because of the, like, interpersonal relations and... Oh,
yeah, and then, I guess there's story development shit, too.
MacGyver... when he's real old. He's good. He keeps throwing the cheesy comments out. And, stuff like that.
Am I misremembering, or is Henry Rollins in SG-1 at all?
By the time I miss the last couple episodes, and I have to go up and deal with Krista and...
Hold on, was Henry Rollins in Stargate at all?
I miss Grimm. Grimm's pretty good too, but I miss it all the time,
Here, look,
It's in Portland, it's just like, oh yeah, I could relate because you see all these Portland scenes, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I know where that is, I've been there. Whoa. There's okay, dogs in there. Oh, if you have any trash,
I don't.
Trash.
Well, I guess it doesn't. Was he? Because it doesn't say if he was or not. Because I actually kind of reading up about him a little bit, because I found out that it was actually part of Black Flag for a while. But here, works. Has a bunch of spoken words. Oh, here we go. Oh wait, this is music, I think. Yeah. Well, is this only just his like musical works? Yeah, his discography. Where is this filmography? Because he's an actor too. Oh, media work. Here we go. I guess he wasn't, from what it looks like. Yeah, I guess not. I thought he was, honestly. I guess he wasn't. I guess, like, the main dude in SG-1 kind of looks like him, but I honestly thought that was him for a while. Before Earth has warships, and they're mostly just stealing enemy tech and political action and what? It's like uniquely human idea, and aliens are like, what the fuck is the dedicated carrier? It catches them off guard. Or assessing enemy or just in the fear that the enemy could just send their ships to bomb Earth. Ironically, rely on Stargate stunts ship development. Like a dad tells me about closing the fucking garage door and he just left it wide open. I was about to say, it's like, don't you always bitch at me for leaving the fucking door open?
What?
Don't you always bitch at me for leaving the door open? Well, it ain't no more, but you had it open there for a while.
I just ran under the...
Ah, yeah. I do that a lot too, but you still get at me for it.
I get up in the morning. You've obviously been lying.
Oh, okay. You might want to hold at the bottom of the bag. After the fact there's a bunch of litter.
Open, the lights are on. And who needs the hall lights on anyhow? It's like...
I don't fucking leave it. Okay, whatever.
It's a long, narrow passageway. What's up? Nightlight.
That barely fucking lights. Oh yeah, that tiny little nightlight that lights up like a 4-inch by 4-inch little square of the hallway.
No, it's at least a 12 inch by 12.
Oh my. Oh yeah, because
No,
that makes it better. That makes it so much better. Oh my fucking god, technical asshole motherfucker over here. Jesus Christ.
So it's just like, okay, I need to go this way. You stick your hand on the wall, walk along.
Well,
okay, doorknob, boom, there you go.
Oh my god. Well, I ain't trying to walk around like a goddamn blind man over here. I got fucking eyeballs. And I ain't gonna wait like 10 minutes for them to adjust. I mean,
well, forever. I don't have eyeballs anymore. Well, I do.
Well, oh yeah, bullshit. Oh my god. Fucking little whiner crybaby over here fucking bitching and moaning that he can't goddamn fucking... Oh my god, whatever.
God, jeez.
This is what the fuck I have to deal with sometimes.
Crash.
No, I don't. Jesus. Atlantis continues to one story, but they can't reach Earth because Atlantis teleports to the Andromeda galaxy. I don't got... It's not full. I mean, it looks like
full enough.
Now it's halfway full. See?
Give it to me.
Dude, whatever. Do it, not me. You know...
Here. Give me a new bag.
Oh my fucking god, this angsty fuck over here. Jesus Christ. Fine. Oh my god.
You don't have to wait.
Oh my god, there's no reason for this.
I got a flurry of bags. Ow.
Oh my god.
Bite my feet. Yeah. Where the hell does cement come?
Man, this fucking... unnecessary at the moment, but fine.
Well, not at the moment.
Just what I have to deal with, apparently. How did this bag get so small? Like, I thought these were huge bags. This is a tiny one. Hey, at least it fits better, actually, so that works. I knew I should have bought 3.
No waste of time.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, but I'll pull some tunes up. Ah! Yeah! Okay, here. Well, I'll read this when I come back. Hey, little puppy. Fucking started trying to get after this little zit right here and fuck. I got it, but Jesus Christ, it hurt. Ugh. I was there for a while too, so it fucking was built up. Ugh. Oh, but it feels so much better. Amount of power requirements again, skate and last somebody don't want to push put that power button. It takes literally the entire planet's power grid for just a minute, so shut off. So they get stuff from her sometimes, so they can't send anything back. Damn. So it's like the Earth literally has to go for a shutdown just to do that. Oh, sleepy little dog. This doggo's just been a sleepy boy last few. Never seen a sequel to show to Atlantis Stargate Universe. I don't really remember too much about that one. I just only really remember some stuff about Atlantis and SG-1. Beyond that, not really too much though. Into the center, in between your thighs, you're a trouble demon under skies. Pay $25 a month for 69 channels. A Spec TV Demir Internet package. That's actually not bad at all. Nice. Good that they have their app on Xbox. Nice. That's pretty good. So all I have to do is just link the accounts together and there you go. Boom. That's some good shit. Verify for the internet connection so I didn't have to do anything. Oh shit. Well, there you go. That makes it even better when all I have to do is just like, you know, link it and that's it. It just automatically just like does the rest. That does make things so much easier, honestly. I do wish that Threads would be doing that shit, because honestly I don't even remember what my fucking Instagram password is, and I really don't want to like change it, because like that means I'm probably gonna have to like re-download that, or not re-download, but like, you know, fucking re-log in or whatever the bullshit. And that's gonna be annoying. I have a gig of internet, download an apartment internet. Nice. That's some good shit. I definitely know, and like after next week, you know, once my birthday weekend's out of the way, I definitely know that I, you know, gonna need to get like my mom down here to spend a lot of time to get this fucking place in order more often and shit. Yeah, at least some more frequently. And try to see if I can employ my friends a little bit on that one. Because they certainly, you know, could, you know, like, you know, pitch in a little bit. I haven't even fucking laid down the news on them yet. I haven't even really fucking said it here yet, honestly. But, it'll be something that I guess I'll probably just announce on my own time. Like $140 a month if everything including cell service. That ain't really too bad. Got bills, bish. Well, so do I. I mean, and honestly, I mean, not because of my own fault, obviously, but just because of, you know, over the years, like, I mean, there's a lot of back bills that need to be paid off, too. But luckily, at least, like, it's not really, you know, an end-all be-all. It's just, you know, once it gets caught up, then, you know, it's at least, you know, more stable and chill. PS5 bill, internet bill. There's... you know I'm not gonna let up on that PS5 shit. Hospital from a decade ago. Oh, what? Wait, no, what? Wait, hold on. Hospital bill from a decade ago? Dude, fuck this healthcare system, man. I mean, I am literally a hardcore, like, fucking, you know, like, nationalized, you know, healthcare, period. Like, that's one area where I'm not fucking gonna compromise on. Because, I mean, like, our healthcare system has, you know, done nothing more than fuck all of us. You know, and it's, like, it just has to fucking change. $80 yo from a choking incident. Or at least something like that should be easily paid off, but like still, I mean, fucking really? Shit like that's just bullshit, dude. Oh my god. Doggo's fucking curled up in the most adorable little ball. It's like a cosine on a house for later. Don't you just hate that, like, you know, a lot of our fucking shit is, like, you know, tied to our fucking credit scores? And yet so many people bitch at China for having, like, a, you know, social credit system, and it's like, well, what the fuck do you think credit scores are? Basically, no fucking different. In fact, honestly, I argue it's probably kind of worse. I mean, it's like, Jesus. Because if your credit's shitty, basically, that literally will deny you a fucking house. I mean, that shit's just ridiculous. Let's not calculate how China is. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess, you know, they have their pros and cons on both sides of the spectrum. But the fact that we have, like, you know, our equivalent of something like that, I mean, honestly, frankly, it's just an indictment on the whole thing itself. Like, we shouldn't have anything like that. And neither should China either, but, like, yet, you know, we pretty much have our own capitalistic version of what, like, you know, China has with their fucking credit score system. Granted, you know, it's not the same, but, I mean, frankly, at the end of the day, does it really fucking matter? Ours just revolves how much cash you can move? Yeah. I mean, pretty much. Alright, so it's supposed to be the area unification. I mean, like, we just basically doing that same dumb shit. Because if anything, capitalism just had more of a power vacuum to usurp itself in. I mean, honestly. Because that's also where a lot of it, you know, the global codification of like capitalism really started to take fruition. And basically because of that led to a lot of, you know, the whole like let the good times roll. Up till 9/11 basically. Even though there were a lot of people that generally were like, you know, trying to challenge the system, being like, hey, like, you know, we got some shit that we should probably address. But no one listened. Look at sci-fi times. Just look it up and things might be better for once. Yeah. Granted, a lot of it was cheesy as fuck, you know, like, you know, when it came to things like Stargate, but yeah, I mean, you ain't wrong. I mean, hell, even like, you know, Star Trek at the time kind of was like, you know, trying to, you know, precede that, you know, even when that type of duopoly was going on. And at least kind of maybe help instill some of that influence into sci-fi, you know, during that era. Because, like, it really did kind of look like, oh shit, this whole, like, kind of Star Trek unification, it kind of looked like it would potentially be a thing. I mean, you know, and, you know, I mean, it really did kind of, like, you know, translate that into other sci-fi. And yet, obviously, it just didn't happen. At least not yet. But the thing is, even, like, with shows like Star Trek and shit, it came with a lot of turmoil before it came, you know, like, the unification. So, I mean, in a way, maybe we're just in that process right now, where we're going through that, you know, time of turmoil before, like, like before, you know, we really get that, you know, process. Al Gore should have been president. That's not necessarily when the timeline totally went wrong, in my opinion. I would argue that Reagan was the start of that. Because he, you know, helped, you know, establish the foundations that led to that process in the first place. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, if you want to really, you know, mention where the timeline were wrong, I mean, look really no further than the fucking Reagan, dude. I mean, wasn't Bush his fucking VP at least at one point? Well, accept Reagan's canon. Well, then you would have to accept Al Gore losing his canon. Because, like I said, I'd argue that, like, you know, the fact that, you know, Bush became president and Al Gore lost was, you know, a lot of the precedent that Reagan established, you know, when it came to this whole Reaganomics that the conservative right wing and GOP was very heavily bent on. Because guess what? Bush was, you know, a predominant advocate of Reaganomics. So, I mean, at least in my mind, it, you know, it's like what led to Bush was, at least, you know, in some part, you know, what, you know, was the Reagan presidency. Bush Sr. was Reagan's VP. Yeah, so Bush Sr. Which means that he's part of the same groups and same, you know, voices and same insiders and all that shit, you know, as Reagan was. And that includes W, too. And they do. I mean, a lot of the same people in W's administration were also, you know, tangential and at least played a role in Bush Sr.'s and Reagan's administrations. And World War II hero. And Bush Sr.'s still shit. I'm not really gonna give him that much fucking credit. There's plenty of World War II heroes and shit that are still shitbags. Luckily, I argue most of them aren't, but there still are. Bush Sr. just happens to be one of them. At least, you know, old Maverick McCain wasn't, but that's also Nom. I mean, later in his life when it came to his politics, he ended up being a hypocrite on that shit, so fuck him on that, but at least when it came to his service, he actually genuinely was a hero. Fuck you for fighting Nazis. Was he even fighting Nazis, or was he fighting the Japanese? Here, I mean, his service background is going to be on Wikipedia. Not fucking junior, senior. There we go. Japanese were fascists back then. But they weren't the Nazis specifically. They were imperialist fascists, but I mean, I guess arguably they were, but I mean, not to the exact same thing. And we're in the, oh my god, dude, he like, dude, senior fucking like was in all sorts of shit. He was an ambassador to the UN for the US at one point under Nixon's administration. And he was in this US House of Reps for Texas in the 7th District. This guy served all sorts of shit. Where's this fucking, Yeah, so, okay, I found it. So he was in the US Navy. He was in a reserve and active service in 42 to 45. And he was a part of the Fast Carrier Task Force in the Pacific Theater. So, the Fast Carrier Task Force, TF-38, went inside 3rd Fleet, TF-58, went inside to the 5th Fleet. It was the main strike force of the U.S. Navy in the Pacific War from 44 for the end of the war in August 1945. And had 17 carriers, 6 battleships, 13 cruisers, 58 destroyers, 1,100 aircraft. Increased for Battle of Iwo Jima. And the garrison HQ was Pearl Harbor. Task Force 38, or also known as Task Force 58. Well, damn. Fucking huge ass task force. So he was a part of, like, you know, some big grand operations near the end of the war during the Pacific, which he got 3 air medals and then a Distinguished Flying Cross, which I'm assuming he, likely partook in probably the Battle of Okinawa or Iwo Jima or something like that. I'm assuming as what, as a pilot? Yeah, before serving as a pilot in the U.S. Navy Reserve during World War II. After the war, he graduated from blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so he was a pilot. So, yeah, he probably partook in at least, like, a couple sorties, and hence, those medals. But beyond that, he doesn't really seem like he had, like, that major fucking significant of an impact. Or at least, played that much of a major, pinnacle role in any of the fucking, battles and stuff. At least, from what I'm reading, it doesn't really say much. Shows him in TBF Avengers. So he was a torpedo bomber pilot. So yeah, he was in a TBF Avengers, which those are some big ass bulky fucking planes. You wouldn't think so, but they're fucking huge. They're bulky bitches. So his birthday immediately, graduated from blah blah blah, listed as a Navy aviator. His nickname was Skin, which was first combat mission in 1944, bombing Japanese held Wake Island. Promoted to lieutenant on August 1st, 1944, during an attack on the Japanese installation at Chinchijima. Bush's aircraft successfully attacked several targets, but was downed by enemy fire, so he got shot down. Though Bush's fellow crew members died, Bush bailed out from the aircraft. Well, damn, what happened to the other two? Did they just, like, couldn't bail out and died, or what the fuck? Damn, every man for himself, I guess. And he was rescued by the USS Finback. Several of the aviators shot down during the attack were captured and executed, so... And, Jesus Christ! And their livers were cannibalized by their captors? Well, fuck, man, he really missed some bad times. Jesus fuck. For survival, I had such close brush with death, shaped him profoundly. Liam, that's why I've been spared and what God have done for me, blah, blah. Oh, damn, so he's got fucking survivor's guilt. Or at least did at the time. And that's how he got his Distinguished Flying Cross, is during that, during that fucking mission. He lived the first mission called World at War. Well, it sounds like he wasn't captured. He, barely escaped capture. From what it sounds like. I mean, from what it sounds like, he was in the sea. Like, when he bailed out, he got, in the ocean, and he was just, like, hanging out in the sea until the USS Finback picked him up. So, if he bailed out, in Guchijima, then he would have been one of the victims. I suppose, take that for what you want. Bush returned to San Yactino in November 44, participating in operations in the Philippines. So he partook in the operations during the Philippines, and the recapture there. Early 45, he was assigned to a new combat squadron, VT-153, where he trained to participate in the invasion of mainland Japan. So if we didn't nuke Japan, like, he would have been a part of the mainland operations, of, like, landing and all that shit. Jesus, oh, damn. So he marched in May 45, he trained in Auburn, Maine. So he went all the way back to fucking Maine, and that's where he met Barbara, apparently. September 2nd, 45, before any invasion took place, Japan formally surrendered after the bombings. Bush released from active duty. So, yeah, he only partook in a couple sorties, but mostly in Wake Island and Chichijima. So, he had a few operations, and I'm assuming the air medals were just mainly for sorties, but then he got his Distinguished Flying Cross after his close brush with potentially getting caught and having his liver cannibalized, apparently. So, yeah, I mean, fuck. So I'm guessing that's probably what happened to his crewmates. They got cannibalized. Jesus Christ. Can't just simply just do, like, some execution. Nah, you gotta, like, go the extra level. Cannibalize some bitches. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Fucking Japan was on some extra level shit back then. Like, seriously. They were on, like, some extra level shit. Even the Germans were like, what's the fuck? He needs to cool down. Chills the fuck out. All you have to do is just put them in the chamber or some shit. Jesus Christ. Japan, cool down. You're turning it up to a 15. You need to have it at least at a 9. A 9! And I'm not even kidding. When the Germans found out about, like, Unit 731, the Rape Banana King, and all this shit, they really went like, y'all doing what now? Even they were, like, a little fucked up about it. They're like, this makes us look like Care Bears. Imagine Trump running against him. I prefer vets that didn't get shut down. Well, he did that to McCain a little bit. I mean, not that, like, McCain was running. But he basically did that for, like, I prefer vets who weren't, captured. I prefer veterans who weren't captured. I mean, he actually did. I mean, he just didn't do it to HW. He did it to McCain before he died. I mean, like, at least, there's one thing you can give credit for is that, like, McCain was, like, a fucking strong arm, like, fuck you, Trump, like, pretty much every step of the way that he, was in office and shit before he died. I'll grant him that. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, when it comes to McCain, like, he's generally, like, one of the more bigger mixed bag Republicans out there. I mean, like, because in a lot of ways I do kind of, like him, in different ways, but at the same time, he's also, like, a hypocritical shit turd, and a stereotypical Republican warmonger, too. So it's like, I mean, it's not good on that front, but, like I said, definitely, in a way, a mixed bag. Almost forgot Boomer Guy and Utah guy got in a heated political dispute at work. What? Really? Also found out for sure Utah dudes alliance centrist. Moderates seem to rise up and retake the country from the two extremes. Oh god, what a fucking fence rider. PragerU showing this to children. Wait, what? Oh, are you talking about the PragerU propaganda stuff in Florida? We've talked about before. I already know. Which, go figure. Thanks DeSantis, you fascist little shit. Just more of a confirmation why Reconstruction, to Electric Boogaloo needs to happen and actually needs to have the job finished. The argument about police in the Boomer Dude, of course, heavily authoritarian, while centrist who has a moderate take on cops. Ugh. I have to deal with that later. Better be enslaved and die. I know, I've seen it before. Like, I know what they're talking about. Like, I know the content you're, referring to. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we reacted to it before, when it first, started making the waves. Centrist thinks that some cops are good, some are bad, and the ones that are bad need to be purged. Well, I mean, at least that's more understandable of a take, because arguably, yeah, there are exceptions to ACAB, and there are, some cops that tend to be at least more decent than not, but if anything, I just argue, then purge the whole police department, find out who are the good ones, and have them just be the ones who are operating, the fucking department at that point. And if they fuck up, then, then they're abiding by the new fucking rules and shit. So they ain't got no room to fuck up. So hope they keep up their fucking good cop mentality. So I argue, I generally think, that would, like, if we're gonna reform police, then just purge the bad ones, so to speak. I don't know why I put that in quotes, but, purge them out, like the ones who fuck up, and the ones who actually, try not to be scum, or try to at least, go in with good intentions. Have them actually be, like, uplifted into more leadership roles, and, and actually have, like, more of a authoritative say, so to speak, when people fuck up and get out of line. Because they have a little bit more of a sense of actual understanding about when it's right, to, like, kind of put the law down, so to speak, and when it's okay to just step back and just, like, kind of let things hash this shit out. Because there have been times, where we've watched videos where even other cops will, like, step in and be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Chill out. Like, what do you mean? Like, that person has every right to do what they're doing. Fuck off. Like, there's been times where cops have stepped in and stood up for people. Granted, it's an exception. I will say that. It's more of an exception than the rule. But make those type of people be the ones running those fucking departments and weed out these fucking bad bastards and shit that make, policing bad. I will grant that, as a compromise. I think it just needs to be utterly fucking restructured from the inside out. And then those good cops could just go back in later, after they're more qualified about it. But, I mean, shit. Because I know at least, there are some that, go with good intentions. Like, I have a family friend, and one of her sons is actually, funny enough, in the Portland Police Bureau. And he went in there going in there with good intentions because he was born and raised in Portland. I mean, this is town. He's actually one of the rare few in the Bureau that is actually local in the area. And actually, I remember when I was arrested in 2020, I still don't know. I really should have asked, but I never did. But one of the cops, I was sitting there waiting for us to get kind of processed outside of, like the indoor parking garage and shit. Like, one of them was, sitting there and straight up look just like, the guy that I'm thinking about. And honestly, I was half tempted. It's like, just by chance, is your name blah, blah, blah? Because I know somebody that's in the Bureau, and I'm not too sure if he might be out tonight or not. Are you him? Blah, blah, blah. I was so tempted, but I never did. But I kind of wish I did. But I think, honestly, my brain was, like, going through the process of, like, well, I got cuffs on me. Oh, fuck. Like, I think my brain was going through that too much to even really think about that. But in hindsight, thinking about it, I generally think that it might have been him. You know, because, but, because he was being chill. Like, he asked us a few questions, like, yeah, so were you all just kind of caught in the, wrong time, wrong place situation and stuff? I told him, like, yeah, stream, a lot of stuff going on around here, and, I wasn't doing nothing wrong, and, I just got caught up, and it's like, yeah, well, happens sometimes. You'll probably be let out tomorrow, and blah, blah, blah. Like, he was actually fairly chill about it. I mean, and also the correctional officer that I was being processed with was actually being pretty chill and actually fairly sympathetic, if anything. Because I think, he's another dude that, probably went in there for good intentions, and he says, like, yeah, there's some cops that are honestly just kind of some scumbags and have power egos and shit like that. And also there are some people that we do pick up that are generally some fucked up people, so... it's kind of a mixture of two things going on and trying to find the proper balance of it, which, I mean, understandable, I can get that, but, it's like, especially if you're a part of the whole system in a way like that. But, I mean, like, it at least shows that there are some people that go in there for at least somewhat genuinely good intentions, and they need to be more uplifted, and that type of behavior and that type of shit needs to be enforced, especially when it comes to hiring people for that type of position. Like, having someone with a fucking ego or some power trip and shit is the last motherfucker you want being on law enforcement, whether correctional officer or otherwise. I mean, I can understand having, like, some beefcake, to be able to, like, easily, make sure someone can be pinned down and stuff like that if they are being violent and stuff, whatever the hell. But, I mean, there's the whole, like, friendly bear thing, It's like, you got someone who's like a beefcake of a bear of a man, but, they are actually kind of a teddy bear. Like, I mean, I'd honestly rather have those type of people. And they definitely exist. There's plenty of people that are, like, beefcake bears of men and shit, but yet, like, totally are chill and very humble, very, like, friendly, stuff like that. But not in the police. At least not right now. That's not the norm. Wish it was, though, because it should be. And the thing is, I think it probably could. Like, I mean, I suppose if there is, like, one thing left could potentially maybe, like, reframe a little bit is, like, at least, being more open to a potential, like, framing of the whole idea of compromise with it. Like, just frame it in a way that is bent towards, like, more progressive, alternative sources. Like, kind of what we're talking about. Because we're still all fundamentally, kind of referring to the same idea of fundamentally reforming police to be, more de-escalatory, less violent, and less oppressive, etc. But it's just reframing the way where someone who might be a centrist would at least, find it more palatable for them to agree to. But nonetheless, we're still kind of mentioning the same shit. And if anything, that might, come down to the line where it's like, hey, after all the reallocation, then, yeah, it comes to realize that they don't really need the, as much funding as, we've been giving them, all these years. So, thus, the funding can, potentially be there. That doesn't necessarily mean they're just gutted. That just means that, after everything's been reallocated, now you got such a surplus that doesn't really need to be there anymore. And that can be used for other things like social work services, healthcare services, whatever the fuck, education. I mean, that money could be better invested elsewhere at that point. So, I mean, it's not really necessarily like what the left advocates. I mean, if anything, we're not really advocating anything wrong. It's just that sometimes I think, the phrasing tends to be, like, impalpable to normies, so to speak. Because I've had these type of conversations about cops and shit, with, people that are definitely more pro-cop leaning or, kind of centrist about it and shit. And I, still have my same takes about it. Obviously not as radical, so to speak, with them on these issues. And they don't really have too much of a disagreement, if anything, I talk to them about with this, because I'm, take it as a more normie approach, so to speak. And it's more palatable to them. I mean, because, it's not really the idea of, like, having, like, an element of society, to help, have some sort of law and order, so to speak. It's not really that inherently as, as a concept is a bad thing. It's just that, what we're conditioned into what, to what we perceive it as, which is not what it really is. It's, it's not meant, to be based on law and order, or whatever the fuck, or safety of the community shit. It's based off of, just, oppressing specific people for the sake of, making an extra buck because, it makes the police more powerful, and it's all bent on make sure that capital specifically is protected. Like, it's not about, protecting the common person or the community, or, just make sure things are chill and safe, and, and just having the basic, fabric of, the social conditioning, kept. But, because it's not about that. And even then, they shouldn't have, a major influence on that anyway. Because they're only one little piece of, the whole, element of that. Because there's, social worker services. There's all sorts of other things, that certainly, I'd argue, can play more of a better, impactful role than, having cops everywhere. But, again, it's just about, how we, just reframe, how we look at cops, and, and just, change, how they operate. And that, I think, a lot of people can't agree with, unless you're some, Blue Lives Matter, all cops are good chuckle fuck. But beyond that, I think there at least can be a possibility of at least, having a conversation about that with someone that might even still be like, well, some cops are good. Because, you know what, I will even grant that. I don't think there are as many as, some of those, more fence rider types would think, but I can at least grant, yeah, there are some that are. I've seen videos where, some cops have, stepped in the middle of, some other cop having a fucking power trip. There have been times about, when shit like that's happened. So it's not like that never happens. It does. But, it's more about trying to make that behavior more enforced and more of the rule of a cop more so than the exception. That's kind of the problem. Because the current system of how cops are not bent for that. It's bent on, enforcing the whole idea of having, a power trip and being, some goose stepping foot stomper on somebody, or kneel on someone's neck and shit. Or mag dumping their fucking Glock on someone's back. It's not meant, to step in the way of that. And in fact, honestly, it should be a rule for cops if they have an officer that's doing shit like that to be obligated to step in the middle of that shit and, fucking stop them. It should be a rule. And if cops are complacent and don't do anything or just don't stop them or anything like that, then they're just as complicit with whatever fucking action they take, escalating things unnecessarily, just as much as, that motherfucker is. Because they're not some, traffic cone. If shit like that happens, then you need to step in fucking line and stop that fuck. Because if things are, in a situation where it doesn't need to escalate, then stop a fucking cop from escalating that shit. And there's been plenty of times where cops haven't. Even if they, go initially with good intentions, and then the fucking power trip and ego fuck, starts to step in and fuck everything up. It's maybe they should step in line, stop that motherfucker, and maybe even have to pin his ass down, just to make sure shit don't fucking escalate unnecessarily. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're breaking their contract of being, a peace officer. Because that's kind of the whole idea of what they're supposed to be, but not anymore. At least what it never really was. It should be, though. I'd argue it's not too late for it. It's not too late to change that. But God damn it, when is it? I would say that. What you saying, Discord thing? What is this? What Discord thing you sent? I've seen these before. I think I have this meme on my phone. Phone police, how's that supposed to carry all that? He's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have this meme on my phone. I'm pretty sure I have that in my meme folder somewhere. That's a classic, too. Because, yeah, that's the whole idea. They're meant, it's take all the fucking baggage off of them, too. We, prioritize way too many fucking things for cops to do. That could be another thing. Let peace officers, at most, do some traffic enforcement shit, and, walk the beat occasionally, and, there you go. And make sure that, no one's being a dumbass drinking and driving or some shit like that. Like, I mean, there's, certain times and, definitely a lot of instances about society where they're, a good idea, to at least have someone equivocal to that around. But that doesn't mean that they have to escalate shit by any means. Just make sure that people stay safe. And if that includes getting, some drunk driving fuck off the road, then abso-fucking-lutely. I think that's good. I mean, there's, like, in a lot of ways, there's nothing really wrong with, cops when it comes to certain things, when they actually are doing their job, at least in a proper way. Beyond that, though, it's like, I mean, because the thing is, we don't bitch at cops for, like, stopping drunk drivers or people speeding and this and that. We don't bitch at them for that shit, unless they go way overboard and step their boundaries, and, like, escalate shit unnecessarily. But if it's just, like, some stereotypical stop, we obviously we ain't bitching about that shit. That's just them doing their job at that point. But, like, when it comes to the fact that it's such a repeated aspect that isn't really necessarily the case, a lot of the times, I mean, that's just it's just a part of the whole indictment. It's like the fact that, like, more often than not, shit escalates way more than it has to be, even for shit that, ostensibly, if they just didn't escalate things, no one would bitch about their shit. It's like, when it comes to, like, traffic stops or speeding or whatever the fuck. Like, there was, like, a story recently about, like, a kid who, or, like, a child that was, like, well, teenager, basically, was trying to, like, get their mom to the hospital and was obviously speeding, to hurry up because they were having issues. And I think it was just after they were released from the hospital, too. And a cop straight did a fucking pit maneuver. It's like, the fuck? That's like the exact opposite thing you should be doing. It's like, I mean, even if you wanted to, like, ticket them for speeding or whatever the fuck, how about you just follow them until they stop, which obviously will be at the hospital, and then, they will be able to explain the situation, and then at that point they would probably infer, like, oh, going to the hospital, okay. And maybe they can at least, lessen the charge of the ticket, or maybe even let them go for warning and be like, look, I get it, but other circumstances, you get a ticket, but just as a warning, blah, blah, blah. Like, they at least then there would be some inference of, like, okay. But no. Like, not even close to getting there yet, and the fucking did a pit maneuver on, like, their fucking, like, one of the fucking, like, exit ramps or some shit. It's just like, it's like, fucking really? There's, like, that one time with, like, the pregnant lady who was, like, going to the hospital, too, and they got a pit maneuvered and her fucking car rolled over and shit. It's like, bruh, like, that shouldn't be a thing. Like, when it comes to speeding, you shouldn't have to do a fucking pit maneuver. In fact, that shouldn't even be legal to do when it comes to shit like that. Unless it's, like, some Grand Theft Auto shit, and you're fucking, like, got, like, like, whatever the fuck goes on in LA every weekend, basically. Like, unless you got some shit going on there, there's no reason to be doing shit like that. If someone's speeding, just wait until they fucking stop. Like, because obviously they're, if they're being a dumbass, then, well, hey, there's only so much gas until they gotta stop, and if there's an emergency, then you'll eventually just, follow them to their destination, which is likely probably a hospital. If that's the case, then there could probably be an exception to the fact that they're speeding and stuff. Unless they're being overtly reckless and actually genuinely putting other people, in harm's way. Like, overtly. Like, because there's, plenty of people that, speed that just do that. But if it comes to, like, an emergency, like a hospital, a lot of people that, like, tend to speed aren't trying to overtly put other people at risk. They're trying to just get, the person that has a medical emergency to the hospital as soon as possible. And, will at least try to avoid, being too fucking reckless outside of just getting to the hospital as quick as possible. I mean, like... you would think, it's like a cop would be able to kind of infer shit like that. And in fact, you would think that would be taught to them. Like, or at least in some trainings, like, hey, every now and then, sometimes, people got medical emergencies or they're going to be speeding straight to the hospital. So it's like, when it comes to, speeding and it happens to be going towards the hospital potentially, just follow them up until they go to the hospital and then, assess the situation from there. Like, there's just so many different situations where they could be trained to be like, hey, especially when it comes to, like, a stereotypical case like speeding, this, that, whatever the fuck, they could probably infer, like, exceptional cases of, like, hey, you don't have to, like, fucking escalated to a degree where it's just over the top. How the CHPs show their dick size without pit maneuvers. True. It's gonna... Wait, what? Next buddy of mine lost his favorite pipe out of hospital. It's going... Because his girlfriend's giving birth, he wanted to toke it up in the car. Car pulled up next to him and agreed to let him go, but took a stash pipe. Well, you know, fair enough, I guess. I'm assuming the cop probably was following him because he was probably speeding, too. And he was probably wanting to try to calm down a little bit, you know, before, you know, going inside and stuff. And, well, you know, the cop just took advantage of it. See, that's a little bit of a dick move, but, I mean, that's not really that bad. I mean, like, I've had that happen to me before. You think it wouldn't, but not with a cop, but at least with, like, security at a venue. It was actually at Richfield when I was seeing Journey live. I've told the story before, but, I mean... Like, I mean, I've had it happen to me, and honestly, it's shitty, but, you know, it's some, you know, it's something that you know, you're going to be bummed out about and not really happy, you know, for a while, but you get over it. I mean, the weed and pipe is replaceable, you know, like, obviously you're not going to be happy, you know, like I said, like, when it happened to me, I was pissed, you know, but, I mean, at least I still had another pipe and weed at home. I didn't take all of it with me, obviously. It wasn't that dumb. And also, it was kind of a throwaway pipe anyway. Pipe name was Watson. Good pipe, too. Could slam into concrete. Ooh. So one of those, like, indestructible ones. Ooh, man, that cop got... Dude, I guarantee you that cop, to this day, probably still has that pipe. Smoked it, dropped it many times. Dude, that honestly, at that point, is like a good luck artifact. Like, at that point. Like, that thing has got, like, some good luck charms or some shit on that thing. Damn. It was extremely thick and expensive glass. At least it was some good, thick-ass glass. I feel like Vosh's streams are titled way more randomly than mine. This is starting for tomorrow, but this is literally the most random name for a stream, dude. Introduce your new moral philosophy where you choose to be good instead of evil. Because that's never happened before. And also that is a long fucking title. Like, Jesus Christ. I just keep my shit short and simple. Like, what the hell is that? Like, what the fuck is all this? Like, goodness gracious, dude. Absurd. It's too much to read. Boo. Too long of a title. Oh my god. That boy is knocked the fuck out. It's adorable. Fushi Schmikshi. He's a good looking dude. I agree. Aw, so cute. Just so cute being a sleepy boy. The sleepiest of sleepy boys. Seen links, Vush's Hong. I have to. That's not exactly something I really need to be though at this point. Now, why is this being talked about right now? it's just like, really? Let's see if there's like anything else on it too. That'd be a little funny. Or something. Anything. Anything of interest on the tube for the Wednesday. And there really ain't. Boo boo. Boo. We shouldn't. No, my God. Why does your brain always go to this shit like that? Student crowd is definitely gay as fuck. You think? I mean, I'd argue that he's probably secretly trans. Have you heard of this allegations? We were watching a video about that earlier. So, yeah. About the whole sack tapping thing. The sack taps. Part of our work culture is around here, you gotta touch the balls. Showing his dick to employees. Yeah, well, that's already, old news. Like, I've already known about that. Like, that was a part of the last, batch of allegations. These are just extra details to it, basically. And, yeah, not exactly fucking surprised. And there's also, like, more details about, like, some, crazy shit about his non-disclosure agreements and shit. Like, he's just fucked. We also looked at his viewership count on YouTube, which is immensely and insanely dropped drastically outside of, like, a rare, like, fucking, one-hit wonder, basically. Dude's fucked. Dude is just fucked. I mean, he already was, at least, as a degenerate fucking freak, but, I mean, now, like, financially and credibility, and, like, when it comes to him as a fucking right-wing icon, I mean, he's also fucked on that, too. He's fucked on all fronts. What if he is harassing women besides wives? Oh, I fucking bet you, dude. Oh, I guarantee it. So, Clark, if he hasn't already. He probably has. Honestly, I generally believe he probably has. Not really too much else right now. Crowder leaked cocksucking tape win. You know what? That might honestly be a probability. Or at least maybe taking it up the ass or something. Okay, there gotta be some fucking video. Oh, dude, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you might be on something. That might happen. How much do you want to bet? Is it him sucking the dick or taking it up the ass? See, that's the key to me. Like, I feel like it will happen, but what is it? Is it him sucking the dick or is it taking it up the ass? Or is it both? Like, both in one package, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the same video, he sucks the dick to lube it up, and then he takes it. Both? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah. See, I kind of wanted to put money on it, but now I'm really thinking it's probably just both. Because I've seen enough gay porn to know that, like, half the time, a part of the warm-up process is sucking that dick, prior to insertion. Like, I'm just being honest, okay? Like, not all the time, but a good chunk of the time. He's more just gay. Dude, I honestly have a hunch he might be secretly trans. I mean, I don't know if that's like, like, honestly, I think it is, likely, but way less likely in comparison to him probably just being gay. But with how much he cross-dresses and shit like that, and has an excuse to do that, and with all that shit, I mean, there's no way you're like into that type of shit that much unless you're either a drag queen or trans, one or the other. And I have a really strong feeling that it might be like, secretly trans shit, maybe. He's a flamboyant gay, bare minimum bi. Well, yeah, I think he's at least potentially bi, but, I mean, honestly, it's not unheard of for, gay men to come out after having, like, a wife and kids and shit, so, I mean, he could be gay. I mean, to be fair, I mean, he probably could be. But, I mean, I argue it's probably more likely he's bi, but also maybe, like, gender non-conforming in some way. I feel like that part's less likely, like being trans or something, but I don't know. I do think that is a possibility. Granted, less likely, but I'm willing to put that out there. I'll make the allegation. Not strongly, but, I'm willing to put the hunch out there. Be like, hey, buy a gift from me. Bye. It's really about it. Well, I guess bi/pan. Depending on how you perceive that, I guess. I don't think I'm gay. Well, you can, but, I mean, it's just because you're bi. Like, I mean, a lot of the gay vibes come from that. Just like with me. So, like, I mean, yeah. I don't know, like, just that, I guess. Definitely don't really come off as, like, trans or anything, so. Just come off as just bi. I mean, I don't fucking know. I mean, beyond that, like, I can't really think of much else. Bisexual bear daddy? I don't fucking know. I mean, fabulous. Yeah, idea for a barbarian. So we can't pull the sword in the stone. So use it as a mallet. Wait, so like lifted up the sword like it was a handle for the rock? I mean, wouldn't eventually the sword just get loose and fall out of it? Like, if we smack somebody up the side of the head with that rock hard enough, or against, like, a door or anything, like, I imagine that sword will eventually loosen itself out. Like, if no one else could lift it, then, him just, like, beating the fuck out of something with that, chances are that sword's coming out. But wouldn't that be hilarious? Kind of serious to see that coming. I mean, honestly, like, I could kind of see that at least being how he acquires the sword. No one could really lift it, so, like, during this barbarian, like, berserker raid of some sort, like, one of them just picks up the fucking sword stuck in the rock and just, like, beats somebody with it. And just, like, bashes the door in, and then out of nowhere, just, like, takes a swing at somebody, but the fucking, like, sword, finally loosens itself out, and this rock just starts flying at someone's head. I mean, it would actually be kind of funny as a little bit, but also pretty fucking scary, too, yeah. So, I mean, I can see it work, but I don't necessarily see, like, the whole, like, mallet aspect of the weapon, being possible, like a mace of some sort, but At least for a short period of time, sure, but at a certain point, like, I imagine that sword is going to come out. And, you know, and obviously, at least, you know, that I think the Berserker would also at least recognize that enough. You know, but just use it as a blunt fuck you in your skull weapon, you know, at least until then. So, that would at least, you know, make sense to me. Sleepy little thing. These cats are evil. What do they do this time? Yeah, at the door. Oh my god. Let those kitties in. Let those adorable little kitties in. Demand attention. Give them attention. Think that'll catch the last little bit of spoil, get some food and stuff like that. Then give those sweet kitties some love and attention that they absolutely fucking deserve. Showing a blanket. Well, just pay attention to them more so they don't do that. It's called watching them. You can't be distracted by them because then they'll be a little anarchist because that's how cats are. My dog, not my dog. What? My dog has learned very well from that. Well, it might as well be like a dat or a cog. Okay, now that ain't gonna work. Well, he is a cog. Cog in the machine. Just like the rest of us. But anyhow, I mean, let's go grab myself some food, all that stuff. Then, you know, come back around for the morning before going to work and all that shit. So, wait, hold on. Fuck. What? That's right, it's just 5 minutes. Trying to see my part. So you're gonna be really fixated on that movie now for a while, are you? But, yeah, don't disagree with you, though. But, you know, alright, let's call it good for the night. Give us some food, get some Z's, and all that shit. So, peace out, and I'll be